The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink.
Stop! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people. And welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Aaron Rodgers Thursday, January 16th, 2025. This program starts now. Football is wonderful. We'll be talking to Aaron in the second hour. We'll be talking to the general manager of the North Carolina Tar Heel football team, Michael Lombardi, who's been a topic of conversation in football, obviously, because he's been refuting basically every single narrative that Bill Belichick is trying to get back to the NFL, even though he's currently the head coach of the North Carolina Tar Heels, where Lombo is the general manager. I think the reason why Lombo is so aggressively open against it is because there's probably a lot of college teams that are utilizing Bill Belichick's going to the NFL, Bill Belichick's going to the NFL, as a recruiting advantage against North Carolina. So as they're trying to build their team through the transfer portal and put everything together down there in North Carolina, all anybody's seeing reports all over the place is that Bill Belichick's trying to get to the NFL. Bill Belichick's trying to get to the NFL. That'll certainly be used against North Carolina whenever you're recruiting somebody. And all you need is a good class. You get a good class, you can flip an entire program, which is exactly what Bill and Lombo are trying to do down there in North Carolina. I think it's logical for people to expect Bill Belichick to be like, okay, I'm done with the college thing. I went to a couple high schools. I did some negotiating with 17-year-olds. I've been talking to 50 different agents and managers, and now the college world, what it is. I could be done with that and go back to the NFL, especially with the job openings and what people are looking for this coaching cycle, seemingly versus other coaching cycles of the past. So it's all very believable, these reports that are being thrown out there. We'll ask Lombo his thoughts on it in about 20 minutes or so. I cannot wait to chat with him.
Yes.
I love conversating with Lombo.
Yeah.
I had no idea until yesterday that he started some shit at NFL Films whenever he was on our show. That is Lombo football. Mm-hmm. He is wide open. He has been great as a podcast host, as an author, as a live show host, as a daily newsletter writer, because he has a lot of thoughts, a lot of opinions, a lot of knowledge, and also a lot of experience in football. More so than anybody that's talking shit about him on a regular basis. So I can't wait to hear what he has to say in about 20 minutes. And then Aaron Rodgers, obviously Southern California native, everything that's going on with the fire. I believe he had to evacuate. We'll catch up with that with him. And then also, what's he doing?
Yeah.
What's he doing next year?
Who knows?
What are his thoughts next year? There's a lot of conversations because remember, he's open to anything, attached to nothing, I believe is the exact quote. And there's a lot of ifs that have been put into place for him to have to answer questions. If he wants to come back to play, if the New York Jets want him back, if that is going to be the case, then maybe he plays for the New York Jets next year. If he wants to come back to play, if the Jets don't want him back, then all of a sudden he's part of the QB market where there's going to be 7 different spots allegedly that are going to be looking for a quarterback. And then there's only a few college guys that they're saying are NFL ready or NFL caliber quarterbacks coming through the draft. And then you've got a lot of maybe that second, third chapter free agent quarterback, just like we saw the resurgence of the Renaissance man Baker Mayfield down there. And then Sam Darnold, who we thought, okay, $45-50 million a year maybe with his second coming over there in Minnesota. He'll be a free agent. Russell Wilson will be back on the market. Kirk Cousins potentially will be back on the market, although all signs are leading to that being the case. And then if you look at Drew Lock, Daniel Jones, Jimmy G, I mean, that's all. These are all the names that are going to be out there. 7 jobs potentially open, maybe more, maybe less. We shall see. And then you look at the college guys. Everybody's talking about Shadur, Jalen Milroe, Quinn Ewers, Cam Ward. Nobody's talking about Will Howard.
Nope.
Except for us.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't talk about Will Howard all year. I didn't talk about Will Howard last year when he was the Big 12 Player of the Year at Kansas State and went to overtime against this Texas team as a Kansas State Wildcat. And what he has done, and with these eyes, what I've seen him do, how he has led, how he was, and he hasn't even ran that much this year in this Chip Kelly offense because they don't need it because all the weapons they have on the outside. Kansas State, he was running all over the place. 6'3", 240.
Big boy.
6'3", 240. And he obviously has weapons. That's a bucket. I mean, he just dropped it right into a bucket. He's able to read defenses, make the right. That's a ball. That's an NFL throw right there. And also something we got to see that not everybody else gets to see. I saw this guy coming out of the tunnel. We're talking about skipping. We're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Moxie. Or swag.
Yeah, we're talking about a little bit of,
Gums.
We're talking a little.
He's got some gut sacks.
Had a shiesty on whenever he was playing against Tennessee. Obviously, no sleeves. It's like, I like this guy. I like him a lot. One half of the hammer,
Dahn.
Cowboys, AP Tone. You said you did a mock draft. You picked him up in the 4th round. They're talking about this quarterback draft class not being great, and then they're not mentioning this guy's name. Doesn't make sense to me, but you did your mock draft, got him in the 4th round. I think Mel Kiper's projecting him to be in the 4th round. I am baffled by that, especially with what he's been doing on the biggest stages that you can get in college ball, in the history of college ball, throughout these 12-team playoffs.
Yeah, personally, I drafted him today in the 4th round for the Pittsburgh Steelers on PFF's mock draft.
Congratulations. I think that's a steal.
Yeah, good draft.
I thought it was a steal, too, but it turns out, judging by the replies, he's a very, very polarizing figure on the internet. It was either, hey, that's a great pick, or this guy's the worst human being of all time. I don't know why Will Howard's so polarizing, maybe just because he plays for Ohio State. I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's the potential to be a great quarterback based off of arm strength, size, height, all those intangibles that you talk about. And he's a leader, like we've talked about. When he got the not concussion against Michigan, and was just sprinting up and down the sideline, I said, this guy's got a bit of pizzazz to him as well.
Yeah, and the concussion against Michigan, potentially why. That's, you talk about their season and what is the downfall. Well, obviously he has that situation against Oregon. Okay, so hold that against them. Then they lose to Michigan. Okay, hold that against them. How do you respond in the biggest moment? Oh, you choke against Oregon. He choked. The guy couldn't execute in the highest pressure. Has he? Now, in these different situations, I think Will Howard deserves a lot more respect. Let's go to the talks table at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Great to see you boys. You boys have seen him live. And this is just like when you see Drake May.
Yeah.
You see Drake May, and it's like, wow, that baby face, you don't think, especially with how he moves, you don't think how big he is. Then we run into him in a hotel during college game day whenever we had a North Carolina game, and I'm looking like this at this guy. I'm like, I did not know it was built like this. Yeah. And then Will Howard, same exact. I mean, you're looking up at Will Howard. He's a massive, strapping lad. It's a wild time, but he's got his team in the national championship. Riley Leonard hasn't been talked about as a guy, and I think it's strictly because of his arm and how he throws and everything like that. He's not the only quarterback in the history of college that hasn't had the greatest arm coming out. It's just like, feels like a couple guys haven't been talked about. Feels like the draft class as a whole has been talked about as being shite, which I don't think is fair, because who knows who's going to be good. Who knows who's going to be terrible?
Yeah.
I mean, there's top 5 picks at quarterback position who stink. And then there's guys 199. It's like, how do you know who's good? Well, the way they throw it, it's like, the only thing that matters is in here, brother. This is the only thing that matters at that position. Have to be able to make throws. Have to be able to do it. But how's the work ethic? How's the leadership? How's the football love? And then how can you dissect defenses, and how can you show up in the biggest moments? I think Riley Leonard and Will Howard at this point have showed up in the biggest of moments thus far. Obviously another opportunity on Monday night in the national championship.
Yeah, and they can both move, which is awesome. I feel like you have to have that going into the NFL now, especially at the quarterback position. But when you talk about the biggest moments, like also some of the biggest teams, like Tennessee, the big takeaway when we watched them all year was like their defense flies around. They play hard and they hit. Yeah, and they dominated Tennessee, and granted at home in the cold, whatever.
I mean, that's a strike right there. Yeah, I mean, that is a strike right there.
Absolute seed, and there's some of those all over the place. And look who he's playing against, Oregon. Oh, okay, the best team all season, one of the best offenses and defenses that they probably went against all year, and he's leading that team against the best offense and defense. So I assume he has a say in getting the team ready as far as pregame, getting the boys hyped up. And then, of course, the last game. Like, Texas was one of the bigger, best teams that we all saw.
Very expensive. A lot of pros.
A lot of pros on that team. A lot of money gone into that team. You talk about, the teams that benefited from everyone talking about Ohio State spending $20 million. Texas was one of those teams because they probably spent upwards, if not more than $20 million to get the guys to retain.
Everybody that's left has spent at least $20 million.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that probably goes back one round. And I think we just didn't know that everybody was going to be able to do that. Yeah. And not everybody is able to do that. The teams that are, though, certainly going to have quite an advantage.
No doubt.
You're seeing them around right now. April 8th ruling, we'll see how that goes. Joining us here is a man who's an absolute legend. not only on these parts, but the entire football landscape.
For sure.
36 years in football, 18 in college, 18 in the NFL. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Pagone.
Yeah, Coach.
Hey, Coach, you just heard us break down Will Howard. I think you've been watching the games alongside of us for these college football playoffs. And then you're watching those highlights. I see you saying, that looks like that looks like Why do you think he's not being chatted about? And what do you think it takes for a college quarterback to be great in the NFL?
Well, when you were talking about him this morning, I went and pulled up on my iPad. You said, hey, check him out. So I went and watched that Oregon game. Did he miss a pass? What was his completion percentage?
No, he was great.
High.
I mean, because all those throws are spot on. They're all runner's balls. They're not behind.
Drop
okay?
Is this okay? It's 4 degrees out here. There's a lot of snow.
yeah.
Hey.
More snow than we could have fathomed here.
a lot of snow.
Coney
I
and
thought it was flying into Sarajevo. It looked
Good
like
call.
the front.
There is nothing
Or
out
Green
there.
Bay, whatever.
Or Minnesota, any of the cold-ass towns.
Sarajevo's
Indianapolis not normally a snow place because it's so windy. So normally it's the crop snow, it's thin snow, not snowball
Shite.
snow.
Wintry
It's
mix.
Yeah, it's normally quick in, quick out. You normally are able to see just grass. It's normally frozen, but you don't normally see. Snow's been sticking around this year and cold as shit.
Shite.
So I hope you're able to battle through today with your voice.
No, we're good. We're good. So so this looks like another Big Ben, right? So if there's still going to be a handful of offensive systems like Goff in Detroit right now with Ben Johnson, right? That want a pocket passer, want a big, tall. Like, is this guy, when you stood next to him,
Yes,
does he
big.
look like
Yes.
like Andrew,
Yes.
big,
Yes.
right? Strong,
Yeah.
physical.
240.
So he's got all the metrics. It looks like he can process and he can read a defense because he knows where to go with the ball. He throws a pretty ball. He's a good enough athlete to get out of trouble.
Watch this. Watch him celebrate with the boys.
And to me, that's the biggest thing. Like, so we've made a ton of mistakes on quarterbacks over the year, everybody, right? But the one thing you don't want to make a mistake on is the football IQ, the football character. So who's the guy that steps in a huddle where, like, all of his teammates, like, you can tell, you can go to a game, you can go to a practice, and you can just watch the body language and you can watch his teammates around him, how they respond to him.
Isn't it like, is he a guy?
He's got it.
Is he a guy?
So everybody says it. So you go to those practices, you go to those games, and you can see it, like the way his teammates respond and the way they rally around him and how he, celebrates with his teammate. Like, you can see a guy like, guys, like, they score a touchdown, like nobody's around him, or he goes by him, like, that guy's a
Nobody
dick.
went to his birthday
Nobody
party.
Nobody.
Wow.
So it looks like he has it.
Yeah, I think so. And as he was doing that celebration, he literally just was staring through my soul because I do believe I picked against them in that particular game. No.
You picked
I picked one of the minus three. Yeah, so basically he was looking over at us, though, and it's like he has a handshake with all his teammates, all of them. He's brand new, and he's played so much football. He has played 5 years now of football at it's a lot of plays. So people talk like, why was Bo Nix able to succeed so much? It's like he played a lot of football.
60 starts.
A lot of football. Accurate, too. He was able to complete a lot of passes.
Yeah.
You just talked about that. C.J. Stroud. Why was C.J. Stroud played a lot of football? Jaden Daniels, a lot of football. Like, this dude has played a lot of college ball. I'm not saying that's going to be an abnormal thing going forward because I think a lot more people are sticking around because NIL money's more than rookie year money, even though second year money, third year money, fourth year money, second contract money are in a stratosphere that no NIL will ever be able to get to. So you're kind of delaying your path to that, but you're certainly getting paid a lot more money than you probably would your rookie season as a salary. So I think it's going to keep guys in playing more football, but it's like, I think this guy's special right here. I think this dude is a guy. I think he's a guy. And the fact that I think the draft process, because they're putting him in the fourth round, I think he's going to have to go through the combine. He's going to have to grind it out. Like, he's going to have to do very well. That's a big day for him. I think his pro day is going to have to be a big day. I think his interviews are going to have to go very well. Some quarterbacks at this stage, especially with the amount of success that he has had, certainly with what his team is having now, even though Riley Leonard on the other side is like, I play a lot of football too.
Yeah.
What are we? I'm elite. My guys love me.
Duke.
What I've been able to,
right?
Duke and Notre Dame. It's like they're thinking the same exact thing. I think this year, this draft process, we're going to have to see these guys prove themselves. And it's the first time we've seen that in a long time at the quarterback position, Ty.
Well, and we'll see. Everything obviously changes. If he goes to the combine and runs like a 4.7 or like a 4.65, then I feel like that's one of those things where it's like, oh, okay, maybe he's much more athletic than we thought he is. But
you think because the Chip Kelly offense, he hasn't been moving much.
I think
so. They
so.
say big, mayonnaise,
Exactly.
This guy's moving
exactly
at the speed of nothing.
We've talked about it a little bit. Like, he definitely gets dinged for being at Ohio State and for them having as much talent as they had. But, like, look at when he was at Kansas State. Like, there was a couple guys that went to the NFL, but he wasn't playing with, the type of roster he is now. And you still have to, like, Ohio, it's not like, granted, Ohio State brought him in and he was going to be the starter, but you still have to earn that. And when you're playing around a bunch of other 5-stars, for him to be like the de facto, like we've seen him doing these games, like the way he is on the sideline, his energy, and it's not just with the offense, it's with the defense. We saw the way he was, getting in Jack Sawyer's face and pumping him up after the scoop and score for the touchdown. Like, I think that's also very impressive, and that's something that gets discounted a little bit. Like, it is his first year at Ohio State, and there's no guarantee that he would come in and just immediately get his teammates' respect and love and admiration, especially when they had the kind of season that they did where, the sky was falling after Michigan. They lose to they lose the Oregon game. Like, him kind of being level-headed and keeping it and saying, hey, everything's still out in front of us, that's massive. And then for him to come out and play his best football of the season, like, I think no matter what, I think he is a lot better. We personally, after seeing him live in person the last several weeks, it's like, what's going on here? But I think no matter what, he's made himself a lot of money in this playoff.
I think, and well-deserved. And to your point about the sky falling, after that Michigan loss, his teammates all paid a lot of money, all 5 stars, thinking, man, we wasted this year with this guy.
Yeah.
You could turn on him.
Legit.
But instead they didn't. And obviously could have turned on Ryan Day. They didn't. They kind of stuck together and rallied whenever the outside certainly lost a lot of hope in what was possible for them. I love this dude. And Riley, too. Like, after that Northern Illinois game, he obviously wrote about it in the Players Tribune, about having to get a cop, take him home, and where he was. He went late in the indoor facility because of how depressed he was, felt like he let down Notre Dame, and how they've responded and followed behind him. I like the fact that these two quarterbacks in the position that they're in, that they're going to have to go prove it, not only on Monday night, but going into the NFL. I think you have something about the draft process?
Yeah, like those two, you talked about proving it. Those two are both going to the Senior Bowl, so that we'll see both of them there at the Senior Bowl. We're also going to see Jackson Dart, Dylan Gabriel, and Jalen Milroe all at the Senior Bowl, so it's like one of those years where these guys do have to go out and prove themselves. So we're not going to see these guys sitting out not throwing at things. We're going to see them a lot over the next few months before the draft,
which will kind of inevitably help them. Like, they're not going to go to a terrible situation. Like, if these guys potentially, yeah. Like,
there's a chance during this draft process, and I'm picking Will Howard, but let's say it's somebody else. Somebody in the interviews.
Yeah, sure.
There's going to be some coach that's like, hey, are we going to let somebody else feel the same way we feel about this person? And at the quarterback position, that's when you see movement to potentially get drafted. But to your point, if it stays how it stays right now, it's like you potentially get drafted second, third round to a good team.
Yeah, 20, even end of the first round. Like, if we're talking about the Steelers as a team looking for a quarterback, like, that'd be a great situation to go to. And you can say whatever you want about the Steelers, but like, they have a great defense, and that would be a good football town to end up in, no matter what you want to say about the Steelers, Tone. But still, any of those teams that might be QB needy, and I wouldn't throw the Jets in there just because of all the things that have happened with the Jets and kind of what it's surrounding.
And we don't know what's happening with Aaron.
And we don't know what's happening with Aaron yet. But, like, you talk about a team with, a good defense, a great running back, a great wide receiver. Like, there are situations out there where if you're a quarterback like one of these guys who isn't regarded as one of the top 5 picks, top 10 picks in the draft, that you could end up in a great situation and set up to succeed in the NFL.
You've been a part of the draft process a lot more than I have on the inside. Is there a chance somebody like really impresses and they move up, especially at the quarterback position? That's the most important position in the NFL. A team will certainly use a first rounder on a quarterback that they hope and think will be something special. How much movement can happen during that draft process for a guy like Will or Riley or any of these guys that aren't Jalen Milroe even?
Yeah.
What is the draft process like, and how much can people move?
I think a bunch happen, especially after, you go through, all-star games, you go through the combine, and then you start the interview process, and then you have 30-30s. So I think once these guys figure out who these guys are, so I don't know what the knock is on Will Howard. I don't know why he's sitting there as a potential 4th rounder. If there's something off the field, Tone, you mentioned.
He's got that baby face. He looks too young.
No beard.
He's going to get carded if he buys beers for the boys.
Well, we've had some young-looking, people come into these programs and do okay, just because of that. But yeah, there's, because it only takes one, right? Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. So it only takes one. So, yes, things can change. The kid can come in. He can just totally knock the socks off of everybody in your organization, even on a top 30. Like, okay, wow, this guy. And then as soon as they get to break down and listen to him dissect the film, I'm sure like Sean Payton when he went and did Bo, and he knew beyond a shadow of a doubt, okay, this is the next human that I want to work with. He's got, like, because of this, and you hear about how complex that offense is and just the play calling, and that Bo doesn't do a risk. He memorizes every, like Andrew.
And he's 35 years old.
Andrew did that.
Yeah.
And these play calls go from this wall to that wall.
Yeah.
And there's like 10,000 on a play sheet. You see these play sheets, right?
Yeah.
I have no idea how they do just that.
I'm on defensive side of the ball the entire time. I don't know how these quarterbacks do it.
But that, okay, now identify the defense too. Who's the mic? What's the protection going to be? Oh, I have motion too. Okay, bring this guy
Coverage.
over here, and then bring this one, and then snap the ball. Remember the snap count. Oh yeah, what's it on? So I just called this. What are we on? Okay, we're on 2. Okay, good, cool. And then snap the ball, and then all the guys are doing all this, and then figure out, okay, it was cover 2 that they were.
I told the story of Andrew Luck showing up first day, delayed spring because he had to graduate to be a engineer or something like that.
Architect?
Yeah, architectural engineer.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, both.
an engineer and an
Building
architect.
big old
There were several degrees, I think.
Yeah, they're all of them happening. So, like, Stanford, real school, so they weren't like, no, you can't do this. Like, just wrap this up and then you can go to OTAs. So he was late to OTAs. It was like a week and a half.
Missed a lot.
Yeah, it was like a week and a half, 2 weeks of OTAs, which is a lot of on-field stuff. But his first day there, he made a check that was at the end of the playbook, and nobody else had it. Like, the offensive line had no fucking idea what he was talking about. Wide receivers had no idea what he was talking about. And this is like his first day in the building. So he's like, check, 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 goes to something, and everybody, like, looks at him. What is that? And then Bruce Arians has to motherfuck him and say, we don't know, we're not there yet, you son of a bitch. Like the whole thing like that. And that was like his introduction to the team. And I think that was when we were all like, oh, okay, like this is the chosen one.
Yeah.
It's 100 level for everybody but him. He was already on 500.
And
what?
Looking up at him.
Big son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Well,
Avatar.
And that's what kind of happened last year with Atlanta. Like, you could throw Penix in there, and granted, Penix was considered a first-round pick, but like no one, I think he was plus 2,000 to go to Atlanta at 8 or 9, wherever he went. And like that's a team who fell in love with the guy. Like, they paid Kirk Cousins $100 million guarantee, but they were like, hey, we love this kid, so why would we pass on a quarterback that we love when we know like Kirk Cousins isn't a 10-year, 12-year option?
And nobody outside the building other than Oz the Mentalist knew it was possible.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
To kind of put a wrap on this particular conversation before we bring in the general manager of the North Carolina Tar Heels football team, here's Will Howard talking about nobody talking about him.
You know, I try not to, but it does seep in a little bit. You know, obviously, you know, people say things, and it feels like I just keep getting, nobody really wants to give me any credit, but I love that. Keep it coming, man. I as much motivation as I can get, I'm going to take, and I love people challenging me and challenging this team, because it keeps that chip on our shoulder and keeps that edge. And when we play like that, when we play like, a little pissed off and have a little chip on our shoulder, I think that's good for us.
Okay, so that's Will Howard chit-chatting about loving it and listening to it and hearing it. Everybody hears everything these days. We have found that out.
Yeah.
We have found that out.
Hard not to.
Certainly.
Yeah, whenever we run into somebody that we just so happen to potentially crack a joke about.
Vice versa.
Yeah, and also, we have joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who has heard at NFL Films. He's heard around the league. He's heard on the internet. He's heard on live air. He's read in books and heard in TED Talks. And now he's general manager of a college football team down there in beautiful North Carolina for the Tar Heels. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Lombardi.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? How are we doing today?
Paisan, how you doing down there in North Carolina? Still doing college football, huh?
We are doing good. We're out recruiting. Everybody's on the road. Coach Belichick is on the road. He's in D.C. today. In spite of all the stories trying to say that he's not working and here and contract, all that, Coach is on the road recruiting. He's in Baltimore. He's in actually D.C. today. He'll be in Baltimore tomorrow. And we're trying to get some players to become Tar Heels. We're excited.
Okay, so let's talk about all of this, because there's so many different layers to this. Other teams that are recruiting the same guys that you guys are recruiting are definitely using these reports against you guys, I assume, in recruiting, which is why you have been so loud and adamant about the fact that you guys are committed to the North Carolina football team. Is that an accurate assessment on the situation?
Yeah, I mean, I'm loud because I think so many of them, especially the one that keeps going on, is being generated by someone who doesn't like our program, doesn't like me or like Coach Belichick, and refuses to allow it to go. It's Parcells used to say to me all the time, quit kicking the horse, he's already dead. Well, they keep quick kicking something that doesn't exist, you know? And so it's click for their website, which is wonderful, and then they take shots at us as individuals. But look, somebody has to stand up for our program, right? And somebody has to be able to put their voice into the program. Everyone says, well, why isn't Bill speaking out? Bill doesn't speak out. That's what I'm supposed to do as the general manager here, is to let people know what's going on with our program. He's not going anywhere. You know, contracts are very complicated. And I think if you understand the North Carolina system, it is a state institution. It takes a while to get things done. There's a lot of hurdles to go through. But we're all getting paid. I haven't signed my contract yet, Pat. I mean, so this is just a complete story that people want to run with. I've said this many times. I was with Bill every day in the office during the fall. We talked about every single NFL job that could open up. And every time I would bring one up with hopes that he would be interested, he shot it down. He's where he wants to be, and I know it's hard to get it through some of these thick people's heads that he wants to be somewhere else. Like, this is where he wants to be. And I am not just a spokesman, but I'm telling you exactly how it is.
Well, I think it's a believable narrative, especially with what you hear from all the older coaches in college ball about how miserable it is having to do college football. But what Bill was pitching to us was basically like, hey, it's pro football now. This is actually in our wheelhouse more so than it's ever been, probably, right?
Yeah, I don't have an owner that's going to come down here and tell me what to do. I don't have an owner's son who's going to tell me we need to look at Pro Football Focus more often. I don't have any of that, right? I don't have that. I can watch tape. I can look at players. We can recruit. I mean, it's really the perfect, and he can build this program, and he can impact young men more the future and for today. And if you want to be a pro player and you want to understand what a pro organization looks like, here we are. All this nonsense, well, they haven't hired any coaches, and the ACC is nervous. Oh, they're nervous, all right. I hired a whole personnel department over here. They're winding tape. We built a whole pro organization with a pro grading system, and they're all over there grinding tape. And then we've hired coaches as we go along. I don't understand how people can keep generating a story that has no story to it.
Okay, so you've agreed to terms, right? You've agreed to terms on a contract, you and Bill both, with the North Carolina. That has to get approved by a lot of different parties, so we kind of got that figured out. College ball isn't more miserable for you guys. You actually see it the opposite way because you don't have to deal with a looming billionaire who has different ideas. Recruiting, he's on the road right now, doesn't hate it at all, actually likes it?
No, loves it. I mean, he really enjoys it, and the reception's been wonderful. You know, it's been really good. He goes out there, he meets all the kids, and then we've been able to put some offers. We haven't been. We've kind of got. We came in here behind. You know, we need to build a draft board or a high school board. We need to build a portal board, and we're trying to do it on a line item basis, which is difficult. But we will find smart, tough, dependable kids that want to be a part of a pro program. There's plenty of them out there.
Okay, so jot that one off. We're checking a lot of these boxes here that would make sense on why Bill would want to go. You haven't got a complete coaching staff yet, but you have an entire pro personnel group, which I think is very new for college ball. So what you're saying is, instead of reporting that we've actually pieced together the most important part of modern ball, you keep reporting about the coaching staffs. We'll get to that is kind of the thought, right? There's a process here on what we need to do, a timeline on it all?
Yeah. Well, first of all, people don't understand the NFL rules, right? So after 2 weeks, when coaches are not in the playoffs, you can actually go talk to them if they're free agents. So we wanted to wait and see how many coaches who are working in the NFL who want to be here. And our phones have a lot of contacts on that. And then also we wanted to see what some of the college coaches who were available. We thought building a staff was probably the last thing we needed to do. We needed to improve the talent pool here at North Carolina. That was really important to us. And so we needed to build a system of operation within this department. We needed processes and systems put in place so that we're just not randomly offering players. And we had to hire certain people to get that. Then we had to hire a strength coach, right? So we hired the former New England strength coach, Moses, who's down here. And then he had to hire a staff. And now his entire staff is in place. And so now we can start our off-season program. hiring the receiver coach, hiring the O-line coach, we were going to wait until the time was right, till we got everybody in the building so that all the staffs could work together, interview those people at one time. We're not just throwing this out there. This is well thought out. I mean, the guy's won 6 Super Bowls. He's put together a staff before.
Okay, so on all of those notes there, I think in college ball, the position coaches can't even really coach yet. Anyways, the weight room is the most important part because that is the off-season program in there. You're going to have to get a staff before, obviously, the football aspect of it all comes back into the college calendar. On that note, Coach Pagano has a couple questions.
Hey, Lombo, I'm sure a lot of the pushback, the narratives, the talk about Bill, the contract and going back to the National Football League, until you do get a bunch of coaches hired, I'm sure you're having to go into these high schools and these homes, you're talking to these recruits, and they're asking you, okay, we know who the defensive coordinator is going to be, right? It's going to be Steve. Who's the D-line coach? Who is the O-line coach? Who's the receiver coach? You guys know, you have a good idea. I see you guys brought in Mike Prefer. Now, what a get that is. I mean, you got 20-plus years of experience at the National Football League, right, coaching at the – I love Coach Prefer. I thought he was unbelievable when he was coaching special teams. So you got a good one there. Talk to us a little bit about that one, and then just how you're defending, Bill and the rest of your, process about hiring guys and why you're taking so long and how you're, keeping these coaches and these high school, keep them on the hook so people aren't killing you and recruiting with that.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Prefer, Naval Academy graduate, would put him at the top of the list for Coach Belichick, so that's important. And, all the NFL experience. Plus, for your special teams coach, you want somebody that understands player personnel because it's, as you guys all know, it's a matchup game. You want to make sure you have the right guys in the kicking game, and I think coach here is outstanding. What I don't think people truly understand about Coach Belichick and the system that he's put in place, it's a head coach-driven system. So everything that we do here starts and ends with the head coach's offense. That doesn't mean nobody has a voice. We all have a voice. We all have the ability to share our information, but everything is being channeled through him. We're not an independent contractor organization. The wide receiver coach isn't going to just arbitrarily pick all the players he wants and not tell anybody. Or the D-line coach. This is going to be a process like the NFL. We're going to build a board, and ultimately, Coach Belichick and myself, we're going to grade all the players who we offer scholarships to, and then we're going to go out and recruit them. So we're a different model than a lot of teams where the head coach is somewhat of a overseer. No, our head coach runs the entire program. And I think we have to explain that to kids. We have to explain that, yes, that you're going to have a relationship with your receiver coach or your running back coach. But the reality of it is, if that coach leaves, we're not changing our systems. We're not changing our protocols. We're not changing our process. We're going to get someone who's going to come in and fulfill the requirements of that job because the head coach is still here. That's the part we have to drive home. I think that's unique in college football.
Watching film, you feel like you guys got a great advantage. I mean, I assume Bill hasn't even gotten into, he said, I think I was just watching as a fan, the playoffs or something like that. He hasn't dove into the film yet. And obviously Bill has had to do a lot for the draft process, watching film and everything like that. Do you guys have your strategy pretty much figured out on what you're looking for, how you want to build a team to make it successful down there?
It's the same as the pro. I mean, we want the same thing. Obviously, we're dealing with younger players. We've got to do a better job of projecting. Well, there's a tight end that we're recruiting in Western North Carolina who plays tight end. He looks like he could be a dynamic center. So, we have to project players into different positions because these are still young men. They're not grown up. It's not as easy as throw the Tennessee tape on and watch the right tackle and see if he's going to play right tackle in the NFL. You've got to do some projections of this and look at the player and say, where is he going to be in 2 years? Especially at the high school quarterback level. There's so much shotgun. Where's the guy's rhythm? How's he throwing the football? So everything we're doing, we scout inside out, not outside in. We're going to find players that fit the systems that are generated from Coach Belichick that we want to run here at North Carolina. And that's why we're going to continue this program in a sustainable fashion. So we know what we're looking for at each position, whether it's the center, whether it's the right tackle, left tackle. They all have a job description that we want and traits that we're looking for in those positions.
How's it been going talking to these players that you're looking to fit into the positions that you need? Hey, we need this type of guy here. We need this type of guy here. Then you obviously find the film, your pro personnel department. We need to find this type of guy. Who are they? Then you go and recruit them. I assume there's a lot of, you said positive reception. I assume just like NFL guys feel good whenever Bill comes into a press conference and compliments them, I feel like it's probably a pretty good feeling for these dudes and their families whenever you guys walk in and say, hey, we think you would be a guy that would fit in well in our program, and then you sell them on a program. How has the reception been? How much of it is money-based, too? Are you guys still having to, obviously, battle with that entire aspect of what college ball is right now?
Yeah, I mean, like I tell every kid that comes up to my office and looking for an NIL deal, look, don't be shy. Come in here. This is professional football. You know, if you're going to do the contract yourself.
Wait. Hey, I want to stop you right there. Are you helping them with business, too? I think that's something that needs to happen. I think there's something that needs to happen. What I'm trying to help them for is stand up for themselves. I'm not saying I'm going to tell them yes to what they want, but they're going to have enough guts to walk in the room and say, this is what I'm looking for. That's part of growing up. That's part of being a professional. We are a professional business, and the relationship that they and I have has to be based purely on honesty. I can't lie to any of these kids. They may not hear what I want to hear, tell them what they want to hear, but I'm going to tell them the truth based on what I see. And so that's part of this whole thing. I really believe that that's the kind of culture we're in, and that's what makes it a lot easier. And these young kids, they're impressionable. They see pro football, all that. What makes it so unique for us to explain our system is we can take, Bill's done this many times. Take a young kid who wants to play slot receiver, for example. All right, well, we'll just throw on some New England tape. You want to be a slot receiver? Here's the offense we run. Watch Troy Brown. Watch Danny Amendola. Watch Julian Edelman. Watch all these slot receivers. Watch Wes Welker. We've had all these slot receivers. This is you playing. If you want to be an outside receiver, we have an outside receiver from Penn State coming in on Friday. You want to be an outside? Here's the routes Randy Moss ran. Here's what this looks like playing in this offense. Deion Branch played here. So it's a lot easier to explain to the players, and it's, hey, look, Mike Vrabel's the new head coach of the Patriots. We sign an outside linebacker with size. We'll put on the Patriot tape and show them what Vrabel does. Wes Welker just got a job opening as well, know. And Vrabel, depending upon who he decides or ends up making his offensive coordinator, a lot of those plays were being made by a guy named Josh McDaniels, at offensive coordinator. He's available allegedly right now. Now, how that ends, I don't want to get into your guys' business, but it feels like you guys are going to be able to figure some things out. Hopefully, you're able to have success early, because if you have success early, then it's a much easier sell going forward. Then you almost get in the point where, I think every program is trying to get like this, especially in this world, a little bit of a hometown discount, about what the future looks like. If you're not getting that, you're not going to succeed. Kirby Smart's able to get that down. They're paying players, but Kirby Smart's able to get a hometown discount because they know you go to Georgia, there's a good chance you're going to win, and there's a good chance you're going to make the NFL. Nick Saban was able to get that type of, kind of respect from people. Hey, even though I'm not going to have a starting role here, I'm going to be a third stringer. I know that if I put in the work, I'm going to be able to become a pro, so I'm going to make this decision, as opposed to it. It's like, once you get the reputation, and I know Bill Belichick already has that for being a successful genius, and you, multiple time Super Bowl winner as well, have that thing. But if you can win quick, all these jobs get a lot easier. Like Marcus Freeman, being able to win quick gets much easier. If it's like hey, we need 4 or 5 years to win, nobody's sticking with you. I mean, that's just how it is. It's crazy time in college ball. I can't wait to watch you guys operate. I hope you do lend some advice business-wise to these guys, though, because we're in an entrepreneurial generation. Everybody can make their own money in their phone, in their pocket, one way or another. I think you got a lot more hustlers. I, as somebody who is utilized you as a sounding board for $100 million plus deals, multiple occasions, I think you'd be remiss if you didn't utilize that as a weapon too for this generation. Like, hey,
we're going to do what we used to do in New England starting May 15th. Was we had the off-season program where all these young kids, they come from college, and we take them through an entire program. First thing you want to do, if you get drafted in the NFL, first thing you want to do, lose your cell phone. Lose your cell phone, because all of a sudden you got friends you never thought you had. So get a new cell phone number. So we're going to teach everybody the same program that we ran in New England on player development. That's going to be an ongoing occurrence here. And we're also going to tap into, we've got an incredible leadership school here, Jim Coleman Leadership Center that Jim Coleman started in honor of his father. It's a tremendous part of the University of North Carolina system, and that's something that's near and dear to my heart. And we teach leadership once a week to all the freshmen here on the campus. Kevin Donnelly, a former player for the Houston Oilers, he's part of our staff. He does that as well. So it's really about enhancing you on a professional level, because we have to teach these kids that they're no longer amateurs, they're professionals. And it's all about how do you get there.
Yeah, but Yeah. I think you should be talking to these people. And that's I didn't pay you any money, and I guess that's kind of fucked up for me not doing that. But, there's only 2 people I'm calling before I'm going in and negotiate or final negotiations. And it's you and Nick Kahn. And I think Nick Kahn.
He's a good one.
Yeah, exactly. And so are you. I mean, these are the people that I get to call. I'm very lucky that I'm able to do that. But, there's been a couple things where you've told me and how I should frame it in my mind, looking at it, that has been a missing piece going into a presentation, and then just obviously the boys and I have benefited from it. So it's I think this generation is good with learning about that shit. I think
they need to.
Yeah, I think they're cool with learning about it. But I think there's a chance that if they would be susceptible to people that don't know what they're talking about this particular world as well. Right. I think anytime there's a massive amount of success to be had, there's always going to be leeches, And there's a lot of leeches that have come into this NIL agency world, business world. And I know that you have to negotiate directly against these people, so it's kind of a tough spot for you to be in. But as you're negotiating with these guys, I hope you are at least informing them on why you're saying this and how a better way of going about it maybe in the future would be, or something like that. I hope there is that, because I think you're a talent in that world, in that aspect, and you've been doing it a very long time.
Well, thank you. I think it's really important for me to convince the kids they got to stand up for themselves and they got to speak for themselves. But also, I think it's really important that they understand that nobody is paying in any world, whether it's in the professional world or in college, for speculation. Everybody's paying for performance. Past performance predicts future achievement. And so if you have an ability to play well as a freshman, you're going to gradually work your way up the salary structure within a college framework. But if you haven't done anything, don't come knocking on my door looking for money, because there's no performance. It's all based on performance, and you got to do it. So you're in a performance-based look. You wouldn't have the Ram truck advertisement there if there weren't great ratings, right?
Shout out, Ram.
It's all performance-based, and you wouldn't be driving a beautiful Ram truck. I mean, that's all. Everything is based on performance. And at North Carolina, it's based on performance, and you earn it. No matter if you're a walk-on or you're a scholarship player, you got to earn it.
Life is merit-based. It always will be, I think, and I hope, even though there's some nepotism and some networking that give people good jobs. And you want to talk about performance-based? There's a reason Ram trucks all over the place. This 2500 heavy-duty Rebel Ram, diesel powered.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my performance through the roof. Just like Lombo. Okay, we're going to pivot away from North Carolina and your program and talk about a lot of the NFL stuff that you would know a lot about. Con Man has a question for you.
Yeah, Lombo, you brought up Mike Vrabel. Obviously, he got hired in New England last week. Huge. Everyone in New England's pumped. I will say, if you steal any of the coaches he's thinking of hiring, you're a son of a bitch, and I hate you. But with that being said, hopefully that doesn't happen. What do you think about the hire, and how should I kind of feel about this year's expectations with Mike Vrabel at the helm? Because at the current moment in time, I think Drake May is going to win the MVP and we're going to win the Super Bowl.
Well, I think what you found out was everybody going to Dairy Queen after the game didn't work, right? Everybody being nice and friendly and fuzzy and having a great time. And now they brought in somebody who understands how to lead. They brought in somebody who can hold players accountable. And he does it from an ex-player's point of view, which is really impressive. He's got a commanding figure to him. He's a great coach. He's smart. For the life of me, I don't understand why he sat out of last year. I think it's a tremendous hire. I have great respect for Mike Vrabel. I think he knows what he wants. He'll do exactly what we talked about here at North Carolina. He's going to scout inside out. The team will be tough. Practices will be demanding. He also knows how to work the players through it, because he's done it, and he speaks from a voice of authority. I think it's really one of the best hires. I mean, for him to be out of football based on what had happened in the NFL last year in terms of the coaching is hard to believe. I mean, look, some of these teams, Tennessee made a coaching change, they didn't get better. New England made a coaching change, they didn't get better. Atlanta made a coaching change, they didn't get better. Sometimes change doesn't make you better. I thought when Tennessee let Mike Vrabel go, that was a mistake. And I think New England benefited from it.
Yeah, Vrabel was able to get the Tennessee Titans the number one overall seed in the AFC with 100 player, 90-some players on IR. He's obviously creates seemingly a winner whenever he is in charge. That Tennessee Titans team, speaking about him, the way Will Compton still talks about him.
Yes.
Right, even with who Will Compton was, which is obviously a dog. 10, obviously. He's good. On the horizon, potentially.
Yeah, incoming.
Especially with how he's been doing. But then Taylor Lewan, who high-profile starting tackle, so that's the entire roster there. Basically chit-chatting about Vrabel. All the same thing. Hard-nosed, tough guy. Obviously talks shit. but he's an accountability-driven coach.
And the way
we're going to win. And he's a strategist, and he's like a genius when it comes to football.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing is like he was given an interview and he talked about like the percentages of teams that win when they throw over 50 times and what the percentages of teams when they win when they run the ball, 30 plus times. Like to your point, the strategist, football genius, people aren't really giving him credit because there's people online saying like this guy isn't a good coach. I don't know why
That's
people
awesome.
are pumped.
Well, it's just like the MC DC shit. Just like people said about MC DC, because it's hard to get past this guy's a big dumb dipshit, because there's been people that have been built and looked and maybe have a similar past as these two people that have certainly been like that. Let's not rule out all the big dumb dipshits, meatheads there have been in the past where people could potentially send prejudice onto two new meatheads that might not be big dumb dipshits that are actually, motivational and smart and deep thinking. Charming, man. Yeah, I got a dip in, but man, wife and I watch a rom-com, man. I'm not worried about it. So it's like, I think that's where Vrabel lies, and I think the NFL and football as a whole are lucky that he's back in a big-time position. And I think the rest of the NFL is pissed the Patriots are probably going to be back. Now, let's talk about a team that might never be back or maybe will be. Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, Lombo, I think one of the more interesting openings is the Raiders, and it's a team, obviously, that Bill was, tied to a bunch because Brady's there. But now reports are coming out that Ben Johnson, it seems like that is more and more likely that that's where he's going to wind up. And all last year we were talking about, hey, Ben Johnson, he's in a perfect spot because he can kind of pick and choose here. He's the hottest name. Their offense has been unbelievable the last 2 years. And then you look at the Raiders as a whole, and they don't have a quarterback. They have holes everywhere. Is the allure of Tom Brady being, a partial owner and having hands-on in this process, is that enough to get one of these marquee guys to say, yep, I'll whatever you need me to do, I'm going to go to Vegas because I want to coach under Tom? And do you believe Tom being around there is enough for the Raiders to turn things around rather quickly when they've been so shitty for so long?
I think it's certainly a step in the right direction. I mean, you get a guy that understands what it takes to win, a former player who's achieved at the highest level of his profession, the greatest quarterback, the GOAT, and you get him in there and you sit in a meeting with him and he knows what it takes to win. He knows what locker rooms need to have to win. And so I think if you're Ben Johnson and you're having a conversation with Tom through his agent and through all the people, I think you get a sense of comfort. Look, I think a lot of these jobs are driven by what's the ownership behavior. Right? I mean, what is the ownership behavior? And we've seen that Mark Davis has been impatient. But now we see that I think it's time for him to allow someone to come in and buffer this. And I think ultimately that'll be a good situation, and he'll be able to find players and develop talent. Look, wherever Ben Johnson goes to the Raiders, he's not going to be able to turn that program around in a year, but he's going to find a quarterback to help that he could turn it around and build the team inside out. And I think Tom has a really good understanding of team building. I've spoken to Tom many times in the past about team building, about how to scout inside out. I think Tom's going to do great.
Hey, that was an incredibly smooth move of your phone, either silencing it or passing something off while giving a perfect take. That's why you're the difference, brother. That's why you are the X factor in everything. All day busy right now? We're very busy.
No, it's every day's the same. You got to solve problems. You got to put fires out, and you got to find players. I mean, look, one thing about this program, it's all about consistency. It's about doing it every single day and getting better at what you do. And that's standards for me too. I've got to uphold to it. So whether if I ask the players to do it, we better make damn sure we're doing it on the fourth floor here.
Fourth floor.
Love that.
Yeah. UNC is going to be back, maybe. Huh? Doesn't it sound like it?
Certainly sounds
the Raiders might be back, too.
Maybe.
Raiders.
The NFL, Pat, needs the Raiders to be good. They really do. They're such a great fan base. They really are. It's like
they hated you for a while. You remember that this season?
They always hate me. They hate me because I speak the truth to them. They haven't won a playoff game since we lost the Super Bowl. I mean, in 2002. I mean, they've been to 3 playoff games. They've lost every wild card. Nobody wants to hear the truth, but the problem has been since we lost the great Rich Gannon, that program has really struggled. And now they've got to get somebody. Look, every reason why teams lose is there's not a command center. There's not somebody bringing a plan in on how we're going to win. And it has to come from a paramilitary basis. It's got to come from a supreme commander. I think New England just got a supreme commander, right? The Raiders have a supreme commander in Tom Brady. That's how you win.
Hell yeah. Supreme commanders. You need one voice at the end of the day. Somebody has to have two votes, because there's always going to be disagreements. In my eyes. Now, granted, there's people that are going to say committees have been able to figure things out, even though committees, every time we hear about them, they're not figuring things out. I don't know if committees have ever figured something out and it all go the way it's supposed to go. But in my eyes, one person having a vision is certainly a right answer. Now, if it's wrong, then we know who, right?
Yeah.
Then we can replace person. If it's right, though, we also know who, plus alongside others. So I think Supreme Commander is a hilarious way to describe that, and I will start taking it as if it's my own. But I appreciate the fact that you guys got a bunch of Supreme Commanders down there in North Carolina.
Yeah.
22 years.
Right, we got one. We know where we're going.
But everybody's...
We got one. We know where we're going. And there's going to be no confusion. And people that don't want to get on board, we'll find somewhere else. Because here's what I do know. The name on the front's more important than the name on the back. Everybody's replaceable, me included. So that's the culture you want. That's the culture that Tom will bring to the Raiders. That's the culture that New England's going to go back to with there. There won't be people in meetings. There won't be administrators coming down. They've made changes already to benefit Mike Vrabel in New England that were prohibiting them from being successful because they wanted to try that, what I call that Dairy Queen method. Like we're all going to sing Kumbaya and go get ice cream.
Yeah, we all got it right. We did good here. We did good here. Chuck wanted to ask you a quick question on that particular.
Yeah.
As far as the GM search goes there at the Raiders, that's open as well. Have you heard anything like if Ben Johnson is the guy that they're targeting, they're pairing these guys up now coming into a building. So they get two guys that are, going to work together, be collaborative, all that stuff, get along. Any word on that?
I know that they're talking through a host of people, but I do think Tom understands more than anything there has to be symmetry between the two. They don't have to get along, right? That what they have to do is share the same vision. And I think the best thing you can have is a debate. I mean, look, Jim Harbaugh goes out to the Chargers. He hires someone that he's very comfortable with that will debate him and force him to think differently about players. It doesn't mean we're all going to get along, but we share the same philosophy. We know exactly what we want in every player. We know how we're going to build this team inside out, and no one's going to argue about it, right? No one's going to argue that the Chargers take an offensive lineman when somebody in the back of the room thinks we should take a receiver because everybody's in tune to the philosophy that Harbaugh set. See, that's the key. And if you're Ben Johnson, you come in there with a philosophy. Here's what I want to do offensively, defensively, the kicking game. And it's the job of the personnel guy to work within the framework of that and sell that to the people who are doing all the scouting. That's the job. That's how you get alignment. All this crap about being on the same page, it goes out the window as soon as you lose the game. But to create true alignment, you've got to get the leaders have to preach everything that you want to do. It's the first thing we did here. What's our recruiting message? We got to get that to people so the kids know exactly, hey, if you don't want it, no problem. I say this all the time to kids. Yes is good. No is good. Maybe stinks. I hate maybe. Maybe I'm interested. Maybe I'm not. No, I'm moving on. When you tell me you're maybe, we're going to the next kid. Right? No, I can deal with. Maybe I can't.
Man, I'm excited to see if this works. I legitimately, just because everything we're hearing about this current process is like very different than that. But the allure of like, hey, this is a professional football academy, pretty much, is what you're going to. And if you don't end up in the NFL, you are going to end up a great business person. You're going to end up a great whatever, because this is like a life. So I think you're going to find your people. I think you are going to find your people. I'm excited to see how quickly that all happens. Once again, you win. It's an easy.
Yep.
That's an easy sell, which you guys have always done. Now, let's talk about Supreme Commanders, one that has been in charge for a long time and also has some acting chops. Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, we're talking about Supreme Commander Jerry Jones of the Dallas Cowboys. Lombardi, I just wanted to get your whole situation on Jerry and how he's handled, not allowing Big Mike to interview with the Bears and then allowing Big Mike to leave, not getting a contract done, which, in return, you don't get to, talk to any of the coordinators of the teams in the divisional round. And now they're bringing in, Kellen Moore and Jason Witten and Deion Sanders potentially. What's your thoughts on what's going on in Dallas altogether?
Well, I think, look, you have to buy into what Jerry wants to do. I think when you watch the Landman episode where Jerry probably had a Golden Globe performance It was tremendous. And we wrote about it for the Daily. It was just really good. It almost brought you to tears the way he did it.
One take we've learned.
One take? I didn't know that. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, what I thought it really did for me is, as knowing the Cowboys for as long as I have, it really clarified a lot of things. And it made me understand what he was trying to do, to be around his kids. And I think when you go down there and accept that job, it's your job to figure out how to make it work under those parameters, right? Because those parameters are non-negotiables in Jerry's world. I think it's very challenging because the players know they work for Jerry. I think that's the hardest part. And so they've got to find a way to bridge that a little bit. But what they need down there is they need somebody to get a uniform like they had with Parcells. And look, Mike did a really good job down there. I mean, Mike, he won a lot of games. Unfortunately, he couldn't win a playoff game. So they've got to ask themselves, how do we get over the hump? But I think I was surprised he didn't hire Mike back, because I felt like at 82 years old, he has a hard time wanting change. I think it'll be interesting what he tries to do moving forward. But I do think they need somebody who's going to be able to talk to Jerry in a way to where it allows the coach to get the things he needs to get done within the framework of what Jerry wants to do.
Beginning of the show yesterday, I thought there was no chance Prime was going to be a head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. By hour 2, I was about 50-50. Mm-hmm. By the end of the show, I was like, Deion Sanders is going to be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Now, that is me doing a daily sports show. Okay, so having to talk about all of it so often, yada, 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 and hearing all angles and all different sides, having multiple different opinions, literally day to day as new information is presented to us. It's like Prime would be the guy that you would think would be able to talk to Jerry, right? Because the amount of respect that they have, hopefully for each other, especially if they were able to do it. So maybe he'd be able to navigate those waters a little bit better. And same with Jason Witten. Like maybe that's why these two are allegedly being targeted so hard. And allegedly, Jane Slater, I do believe, was reporting that Jerry Jones is viewing this as a solo Supreme Commander mission to hire the next head coach. That's fascinating, especially with that Landman scene where one and done. Improv.
So good.
Even a little punch joke over there. Spry chicken. You. Talking to you.
Don't let me put my rubber glove on the next time I come in here. I love that. He tagged that on the way out the door, too. It was all done really well. It was perfect.
He needs to get into that.
I think, a lot of this will depend on the staff, who he wants to bring in. But I do think Stephen Jones is the voice of reason within that building, and I think he has tremendous influence on his father. I do believe that. I don't think Jerry will make this decision without Stephen and Jerry Jr., at least, and Charlotte contributing, because they've laid that all out. So I think that part of that job is you got to get along with the family.
Yeah, definitely.
So you got to get along with the family.
Anytime you're going into a family business, you're going to have to understand that you're operating in a different set of rule. You're an outsider coming in there. And if you're already part of the family, might be easier to kind of get the job done. We appreciate the hell out of you. Good luck down there, brother.
Love it, guys. Enjoy the games this weekend.
Yeah, we got like 20 seconds. Any leans? Any leans on any of those, or are you not paying attention?
Look, I think that Buffalo 2-3, that's the hardest seeding right there. I think, to me, weather's going to be a factor. I love Baltimore all year. Their defense has really improved. Zach Orr, from the start of the year to the middle, has been tremendous. Look, Detroit's so good, but then when you break down Washington's numbers, they're good on third down. They make explosive plays. Detroit's 28th in the league in explosive plays allowing. Detroit's got to control the pace of that game. Right. I think that's really important.
We'll see you next hour. Thanks, Lobo.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome to Office Championship Wrestling live in Indianapolis, Indiana. Tonight we have a straight to hell match in which the devil will battle against our office wrestler, Dylan Boston. You might be wondering how we got here. Let's find out right now.
And now we have to make a deal with the devil.
Yeah, no big deal. Classic trial by combat situation. We got our champion, Dylan Bostic. All he's got to do, win the match, 1, 2, 3, and we're home safe.
The only man that would take the job to protect us from the devil himself, Dylan Bostic.
Like you mentioned, Pat, there's probably about 5 or 6 other guys we'd rather have in this position, but we'll take Bostic, I guess.
Not only are all of our souls on the line, the Office Championship Wrestling Championship, presented by Natural Light, is also on the line.
Jesus, the devil's trying to put Bostic straight to hell!
I do not want to go
Good God,
to
no!
hell. Don't do
Good
it.
God, no! Come on,
can't-
Bostic, Pat!
Oh, no. Oh, my.
I'll see you in hell, Pat. The goddamn Easter Bunny's out here! What the hell's he doing here?
The Easter Bunny is obviously here to help Dylan Bostic. Wait a minute. No!
Oh, no!
The Easter Bunny's been on the devil's side this whole time. Jesus Christ! Jesus Christ! Jesus
What the hell's
Christ!
Jesus Christ doing here?
The power of Christ is compelling Dylan Bostic.
Look at this, Pat! Jesus Christ is bringing Bostic back to life! Jesus is going insane! And now Bostic's kicking wholesale ass in the ring!
Jesus Christ has come to help Dylan Bostic defeat the devil and defeat the Easter Bunny. What's going to happen here?
Good God Almighty, it looks like he's going up in the scissor lift!
Jesus is lifting the scissor lift. Jesus is now telling Bostic to come down from
Don't do it, Bostic! Don't do it! Oh, my God!
Oh,
Bostic's dead! He's dead! You can't tell from home, but that scissor lift is about 8 stories up, Pat!
80 feet in the air. Oh, wait. He's tuning up the bed. The devil.
Super kick! Into the casket! The devil goes down! The devil goes down!
Shuts the casket. Straight
that's
back to
it.
hell. The devil goes straight back to hell where he belongs.
With the assist from Jesus Christ of Nazareth!
Dylan Bostic saves the PMI office's souls and wins the OCW championship.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
What?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist!
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink.
Damn it!
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Aaron Rodgers Thursday, January 16th, 2025. Hour 2 of the program starts now. Football is the greatest, and we're so lucky that we get to talk about it every single day. I'm not alone, obviously. The Talks the Tables here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. How you doing, Ty?
Doing great. Doing absolutely great. Hey, listen, national championships right around the corner.
It's Monday night.
I know, it's crazy.
Divisional
Crazy.
rounds coming up.
This weekend, too. So feeling great, but also kind of creeping into the back of your mind. It's crazy that the season has flown by this fast.
Okay, yeah.
Not, listen,
And-
it's not. We still got
A lot of time.
We still got a month plus here, so we're good.
Yeah.
But
Somebody said to me last night on a call, I'll see you down in the Super Bowl, right? Or was that yesterday with
It was just,
Keith Costro?
That's what
yeah,
it was.
Yeah, it was Keith.
I'll see you down in the Super Bowl. Yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
In my head, it's like he's like a few weeks.
3-4
Like,
months.
yeah.
No.
Few weeks.
It's less than a month for sure.
Oh my God! 36 years in football, 18 in college, 18 in the NFL. Coach Pagano is here. Coach,
Flew by.
few weeks.
Freaking flew by.
We only have 8 games left.
It's crazy.
There you go.
Oh, mama, I'm in fear for my life on the long arm of the law. When the season ends, we talk about sports we don't know, but we love ball. It's coming around.
More
Yeah, it
sports
is.
get it their time to shine.
That's right. Started with one, counting down to now 4 or 5 different sports.
Yep.
Get a chance to shine in a matter of a few weeks. Can't wait for it. Oh, that NHL season's going to be fantastic.
hot.
Because people forget hockey is awesome.
That's
Following
right.
closely.
And then you want to talk about lacrosse? Did you see the box lacrosse league the other day?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. bomb, knockout. Yeah, dude! Mitt knocked the guy out in the middle of a lacrosse game the other night. I can't wait to follow that. And then have you seen the Association? They're saying not a lot of people watching the Association. I'm going to tell you, if they start having nights like they had last night on a regular basis, more people are going to be watching. It was poster night in the NBA. Chris, Braun, get the rock. Hey! Hey! Normally they're doing a milk check over there instead of going, hey! That was awesome. That wasn't the only one, though. Last night was filled with it. How about Zach 80, 7'4", over 7'3" Wemby? That's in the first quarter. You're going to get back the battle of the Giants, 2 7-footers battling underneath, one from Canada, one from France. The NBA down in San Antonio has a couple Giants. Well, let's see, Wemby, what do you do to get back? Didn't even jump, blocked the 7'4" guy at the rim. This is all last night. This is one night. And then in this game, the biggest highlight of the night, the one that you've certainly seen, which didn't even count.
Jaw.
I mean, that is. And then I saw some people on the internet that have never played a sport in their life say, yeah, it's not a dunk. He didn't even tell you, just threw it in. Yeah. Even more impressive. Like people acting like because his hand didn't rattle the rim or the backboard, that it's not as impressive as being so high, okay, over a 7'3" anomaly. He has the alien logo as his logo because they don't make him. Had 8 blocks in the first half last night. He's already being considered the greatest defender of all time, standing at the rim. How tall is Ja? 6 foot?
2, 3.
Yeah, I mean,
whatever the case, anybody could get it. That's why whenever he was starting out down there in Memphis, it was a rise to superstardom. He was on commercials. He was the guy. Anybody could get it. He actually once said, I'm not going to dunk anymore. A little bit too dangerous. Yeah. Well, John, I'm happy you're taking to the skies again because this didn't even count. And I think it helped out the NBA immensely. Cock back. So high in the sky that he could just throw it into the hoop. People act like that isn't impressive. Get the hell out of here. These Giants battling was certainly worth a watch last night. The clips, like we all did.
Right.
I was just scrolling. Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. And then holy shit. When Braun went bananas. But these two battling it out. Shout out to Purdue. Zach Edey, obviously we saw him at a couple different events. He had one of those big-ass hats on, looked average. Looked like a normal hat on him. So congrats to him pulling that off. And then Wemby, and obviously the points per game a little bit different, rebounds per game is a little bit different, blocks per game a little bit different. Edey is a rookie. He's also on a Memphis Grizzlies team that might be able to do some damage.
Yeah, they're going a little bit. That would set the record for most blocks per game in a single season in the history of basketball.
8 in the first half last night in blocks.
Crazy.
You know, triple doubles are normally like points, boards, and assists. This dude blocks 10 a game, like it's like a thing. It just kind of happens because he just does this number here, and he's above the rim. You know, I played volleyball in high school. Great sport. And actually had some colleges looking at me to play college volleyball, which is a pretty cool thing. And I was an outside hitter. Okay, so I would jump up, bow and arrow that thing, and I'm going down with it, all right? So that was kind of my role. I was able to play in the back row, but I'm coming from back row as well. I'm doing the entire thing. And I didn't know volleyball well enough. I only played like 1 year. So at that point, I had already committed to West Virginia to kick footballs and already told like soccer schools, I'm not going to be playing soccer because I'm going to go kick football. So volleyball was in the spring. Didn't play soccer that spring because I was already going to go kick. So, kind of that whole thing. Played volleyball. So at the end of the season, I had a pretty good year. Great team. Great group of dudes. A lot of soccer guys on that team. We had so much fun. I learned the sport kind of as we were going through. My favorite sport that I played in high school just because of the environment. So we were filling up gymnasiums for these games. I mean, it was awesome. It was a good time. I think we were an entertaining team. If I had to guess, I think people would say, that Plum team, pretty entertaining to watch. A lot of moxie on our team. Tone did not play.
No, baseball guy.
Tone got in a fight, actually, alongside CFO Phil and many others in the crowd because we did bring other teams' crowds out, too, because of potential things that are being said. I mean, it was electrifying. It was my favorite sport that I played in there, but at the end, I had a couple schools that, wanted to talk to me or whatever. And, I don't know shit about volleyball, so I sit down, and we're chit-chatting. And they're like, we're thinking you could be a libero for us with how athletic you are and your ability in the back row. We think you'll be able to figure it out. Libero is a constant back row. They wear the different jersey. And you're just getting, I mean, it's
eating it.
It is not a fun. I mean, those balls are going 100 miles, and you're getting bang, bang. It is not fun. On the flip side, you hitting those things into these people and the thud that happens and the ball goes flying off. Awesome feeling. I mean, it is awesome. I was like, I'm an outside hitter. You know, I'm not a libero. I'm an outside hitter. And I believe the one coach told me, we have a 6'9" guy from Lithuania who is our outside hitter. And we'll be playing a guy who's 6'7" from somewhere else. So are you going to go over that guy? Because he just raises his hands like this and he's able to block you. It's like Wemby. If he was to play volleyball, if he was there, he would literally just be able to do the windshield. Like being built like that, being that athletic, and then them preparing him to remain healthy with like the little muscle exercises in his feet and his ankles, because they did a study on where tall people normally end up falling apart at, because when you're that big, your joints just kind of get beat to hell. Them, since high school, I think have been trying to build up said muscles and said joints so that he can last. And it's like what he's able to do and shoot and block and wiggle and it's like he's special. He's a special talent to watch.
Yeah, he's an alien now. But 10 years from now, there's probably going to be a couple of them.
Bingo.
I mean, even thinking about Cooper Fly, like 6'10".
Kevin Durant.
Yeah,
I mean, Kevin Durant kind of
exactly.
started this. I don't want to say started this, but when Kevin Durant was at Texas, and then when he gets to the NBA, they didn't think he was going to work in the NBA because he was too thin. Remember, this guy's too thin, he's too thin, he's too thin. And then he goes and starts doing his shit. It's like, oh, we got a 6'11" that doesn't want to be called 7 foot. That's how different the game is. He was 6'11" guy who was able to wiggle and shoot and everything. It's like now that's just kind of the.
It's like a thing, yeah. There's another guy I think who's 16 now overseas who is on this same kind of trajectory where he's doing all the shit and he's also like 7 feet.
What's the kid at IMG? 7 foot what?
He's at Florida now.
Yeah, at Florida.
Yeah, what is he?
He's 7'9". He is out for the season with a foot injury.
Bingo, which that is the hard thing about Giants.
Yep.
It is hard for their body to be able to keep up with their size. Feels like they've been preparing Wemby for this moment. It's been fun to watch. Not a lot of people watching, though, I guess. But we'll get into it in just a few weeks when the Super Bowl is
Just a few weeks.
Basketball.
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who's a college football national champion, Super Bowl champion, Ryder Cup winner, currently in an attic in Ohio. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk.
Yeah, Hawk.
AJ, did you see the high last night?
I'll tell you what, are people really saying Ja didn't dunk that ball? I understand he didn't touch the rim technically with his hand, but I mean, the fact that he even challenged him and he went up there for that was awesome.
So those tweets actually happening. Close your eyes. Imagine what the person looks like that tweeted it. Yes, you are right. I did some research. You are 100% exactly what you thought it was. I mean, if Ja was to play any sport, obviously, he would be successful. But I love that he's playing. I like that he's back. And it feels like he had to take some hard lessons earlier in his career. Yeah, I had a little problem with those Instagram lives. Every time they came on, he's like, where's my... Every single time. Could never let one Instagram live fly. Every single time we're live on IG, where... Let me find it.
Is there one around? I can smell it.
Keep it going. Got it, right here.
Yep.
All right, show it real quick. Boom! That was literally what it felt like.
It was.
And we're all like, Jesus Christ, man, just come on, dude. You know, like, you were so much fun. Had to learn. He was young. Very, very young. I assume he had to learn a lot of lessons quickly about life. Now he's all the way back, and it's like, let's go. Let's keep doing that. I think the NBA certainly needs it.
Yeah, much better with him than without.
Yeah, the NBA, though, is, I guess nobody's...
What, people are mad they're shooting so many threes? Is that the thing?
Well, no one cares because look at the teams at the top. Like, everyone hates the Celtics, of course, but Cleveland, not the biggest market. Oklahoma City, also not the biggest market. And then, like, the superstars, the oldest ones are kind of on their way out. So it's one of those things where that whole conversation last year during the playoffs, like, who's the face of the league? Like, all the potential faces of the league aren't the most liked people in the league.
Well, I think they never tried to be liked by anybody.
Yeah.
These NBA guys. They never try to be, and I say that as not that they're not affable people, but they never do any interview. Like, you never heard any of these guys talk outside of just NBA media. You know, we never really, you don't see them on show. Like, I don't think I know much about a lot of these guys that I'm a massive fan of. Now, granted, I think, you know, all the smoke coming around in the NBA getting like podcasts, I think that has helped. But I think whenever you think about just from a national 30,000 foot perspective, I don't think anybody knows much about a lot of these guys other than just them playing basketball. And then also when those type of people hear, oh, they're arresting their bodies back in my day, it's like don't know anything about them, so can't really like them personally. Hear that they have a poor work ethic, even though nowadays these guys are bigger, stronger, faster, going like everything like that. So I think there's a little bit of a combo on why maybe people aren't paying attention as much, but I think it's definitely gettable. I think you can get back, especially with the dudes that we've met. Like Halliburton, I fucking love.
He's
I feel like he's pretty rare though.
Kevin Durant, I love Kevin Durant,
for
but
sure.
nobody really knows much about him until he starts doing Up and Adams with Kay Adams, and then that's whenever clips start kind of
But
getting
I think that's part of the thing too is those guys really don't have to do that stuff because they're making so much money, and if you're balling out on the court, like you're gonna get a shoe deal. You'll probably get like a Gatorade or Powerade or whatever. Like they really don't have to do all that other outside stuff unless they really want to. And I think another one of the issues, like we showed the Christian Braun dunk, like that's an awesome highlight. That was unbelievable, great posterization. But I mean, look at the score. It's like it's not a competitive game at all. So it's like if that's what you're watching it for, yeah, you're gonna get plays like that. You're going to get some sweet dunks and everything, but it kind of goes back to everything else we're talking about. It's like these games aren't competitive. It's like one team is much better than the other team, and it kind of just stays that way.
And the other team might tap out too because they know they're going to game tomorrow.
Exactly.
And if we're going to get killed tonight, why waste any energy? It's certainly a thing. As Chuck drops his bottle, let's pivot away from
his mic pack.
I can't hear this guy literally can't hear anything right now.
No.
Sorry, boys.
Hey, don't worry about it. He's got his ear. He's got his.
There was a really good
old
game. New York.
Chuck, he doesn't even know that we're
Yep.
talking about it.
That's a good game
You're
you're
such
talking
a
about.
dipshit,
Absolute
man.
buffoon.
It's crazy.
Can you hear me?
No.
There he is.
New York and Philly was a hell of a game.
Yeah, you're
Brunson, 38.
Ooh, Josh Hart, I think, went bananas as well.
Triple double.
Yeah, how about it? Okay, all right, let's pivot away from the off-season sports and talk about the current sport that is happening. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a four-time NFL MVP. He is a quarterback for the Jets right now. What does the future hold? I don't know if any of us know. We will certainly ask. Ladies and gentlemen, Super Bowl champion, all-time great, future first ballot Hall of Famer, Aaron Rodgers. How you doing, brother?
What an honor to be on the PMS on Thursday with the legend, Coach Pagano.
That means a lot because you know how I feel about you and the respect that I have for you. I got a beautiful question for you today.
Yes, please do. Yeah, go ahead.
So I was contemplating retirement, Aaron, in 2020. You know, my last two seasons that I coached were in Chicago, place you owned, and made everybody know that on several occasions. But there was a game.
We enjoyed your short visit there.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, sarcasm's easy, Aaron. Okay, sarcasm's easy. So last game of the season, 2020, COVID year, right? You guys are down at our place. Second quarter, we're up 10-7. I'm only asking you because you're the only one that's got a brain to remember every single play, let alone like the ones that you figured out what the hell we were going to do before we did it, and you know the rest is history. And I'm still apologizing to the linebacker who I put in like the worst position you could put a guy in, but it was 3rd and 4, 8 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the second quarter, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, what do we do with this? You guys are an empty. 2 by 3, you had 2 guys to the left, 3 to the right. Lazard was at number 3, inside receiver to trip side. 17 was to your left. And right before, and the play clock's under 5 seconds. And so you signaled out to 17 something, because I think you already had identified that, okay, 20, Duke Shelley. You remember Duke Shelley. Duke Shelley's coming off this side. Robert Quinn got lined up late over on this side, so why'd you have to do it? Like I was contemplating, you know, retirement, but that kind of sealed it. That play right there.
Ended a 36-year career.
I almost got a linebacker, you know, fired for the position that I put him in. Do you remember the play?
I do remember the play.
So what was it? What did you figure out? You did. Was this a Chuck Pagano tendency, or did they give it away too much? Here it is, right here. This is literally. Is this the play?
No.
Second.
That was not the play?
Oh, that's the play. Yeah, that's it.
I can't see.
72 yards later. We're up 10-7. We got hope. We got life. You remember this? Yeah.
Of course, yes.
What tipped it off?
Yeah.
What
could I have done different, is what Chuck's saying.
I think sometimes in empty, you just got to get those guys up on the line. Because then you really have to make a protection adjustment. You don't feel like you can beat it with the ball. If you run back the clip, I felt like in the situation, even if Duke came off the slot, I believe I took a 3 and no hitch to throw this year.
No, we're free runner.
I took a tight hitch. Yeah, I mean he's, I think we'd seen something on film. You guys had done something similar, and I remembered kind of in the back of my mind saying, if I have speed at 3 on this vertical, in this situation where an empty, and they bring the slot, I can probably retreat and lob it up down the field. It just so happened we had our fastest guy at 3 there in Marquez. Part of it is when the defense really can all work together. Now, it wasn't just necessarily of Shelley doing that, but in 3rd and 4 in that situation, we're on the 30-yard line or whatever. The safety is playing a little too aggressive, I think, down there on number 2. He can probably play a little high to low from 3 to 2 there, based on the timing. 100%. You know what I mean? Because
taking notes just in case somebody calls. I don't think they are if they see this.
Well, Chuck, as you know, and none of you watch a lot of ball, like the best defenses, that run the protection, the pressures that going to get after your protection is when the vision knows and understands what time the ball has to come out. So those guys can play first movement. I feel like in this situation, the safety was too quick to play like our number 2 to the 3 receiver side, stopping instead of just playing high to low there. Giving your linebacker a little bit of help. Now, if Shelley's on the line of scrimmage, and it's like, oh fuck it, he's coming, then you have to make the correct protection call there to even have a chance. But because he's still coming from the slot and trying to super disguise, which is great as long as everybody's working together, gave me a little bit of opportunity to throw it down the field.
Yeah, because Devontae looked. Mm-hmm. But you knew you had time. So
that guy was coming from Michigan. Get him up on the line.
You could have done me a favor.
Coming from
Devontae looked just dumping it to him, but no, we had to go over the top. Good call.
Yeah.
So on that note, I apologize.
No, it's all good. That's all good.
I feel like that play. I've always respected you, and you guys got us back in 2012, if you remember. We were beating the hell out of you guys at halftime. I think 21-3. You guys came back and beat us there. Andrew had a great game, and
that was my. I was in the hospital. That was my first game I missed.
That's Chuck Strong game. That's orange.
But that was the Chuck Strong game. Yeah, that was your team, though.
Yeah,
that was your team.
Yeah,
we're all wearing the shirts. We're all wearing the shirts in pregame.
Oh, so you let him win?
Yeah, we appreciate you doing that.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay.
This Saturday.
Well, I
cool.
thought I didn't actually realize it was for Pagano. I thought it might have been Chuck Norris, and I'm a big Chuck Norris fan.
Okay.
So I was thinking, is this Chuck Norris? What are we doing
Chuck
here?
Super
and
Strong.
somebody told me, no, this was Chuck Pagano. I said, oh, okay, cool.
Reggie came out with the orange gloves, I believe. Did the entire. That was a magical day in the history.
That was an energy. I remember just how special that day was. It had to be for you, Chuck, because the overwhelming support and love that was pouring out there was pretty cool.
Very humbling.
Pretty cool to watch. Now, I still wish we beat the hell out of you guys, but
yeah,
that was pretty cool.
Of course, would have been cool to go in there on Chuck Strong night and be a little stronger. We get it, and Chuck would end up beating leukemia and return in that season, which was awesome. And you're a legend. Everybody that's ever played for you feels the exact same way. We love you. Now, you not only retired him, you've retired a lot of people, I assume, throughout your career at different positions. Let's talk about you and your retirement potentially. Hearing you talk about that football right there and chit-chat about the move and what you see and what you like. And I think you've told us before, like, you're such a competitor, the only place that you really feel like you can scratch the itch of competition on a full-time basis is amongst the best, which is in the NFL. How much have you had to think and contemplate about your future? How much pressure is being put on you to think about that decision? And how are you managing that with everything that's going on back in Southern California? Legitimately, like, how are you as a person and how are you thinking about everything professionally? Because I assume there's a decision that has to be made.
Well, the season is not technically over. I always feel like the season's over once the Super Bowl is over. And then, kind of everything resets. Everybody's 0-0 again, and there's a chance for everybody to reset. Now, there's obviously moving pieces in New York. There's been a number of job interviews for GM and for head coach. There's even, more names, being released every day that the team is looking at. But I've had limited communication with them. I've been dealing with trying to protect my house out here. My house is fine. I'm not in the areas that have been affected, but it's been a weird time for so many People that live down here, friends of mine that lost houses, a number of friends in Palisades lost their homes, a number of friends in Pasadena affected, and friends around Runyon Canyon. It's been a tough time for sure. A lot of the kind of attention has gone to so many celebrities who lost their houses. There's some affluent areas in both Palisades and some of those areas, Malibu, that got affected. But there's a lot of other people that just your average great Southern California folks who lost everything as well. And it's going to be tough to rebuild. Anybody who's ever tried to build a freaking structure in Southern California knows how ridiculous just trying to get a freaking permit to build anything is. Maybe there'll be some common sense politics that makes things easier for people to rebuild, but you're talking about a multi-year comeback for so many of these areas. It's going to be really tough for people. So it's been a tough time. There's been loss of life. There's obviously been a lot of structures that have been burned down. I think the disheartening thing, besides obviously the loss of homes, because it's more just a house, right? It's a home where there's memories and years. And you're talking about elderly people who've been there for 40, 50 years on the beach or in Palisades or in Altadena or whatever these areas are. But it's the arson. There's a ton of arson. We already know there's a ton of arson in LA in general. It's one of those kind of things that people don't like talking about in Southern California because of all the money that goes to various initiatives. And I'm not even going to mention it just because it's kind of a hot button. But there's a lot of arson, and people have been caught doing it. People have been caught walking around blowtorches and different shit, which is crazy, and it's inhumane, is what it is, and it's sickening. And then the looting that's gone on, people impersonating firefighters, people starting fires and to loot the same areas. There's a lot of things that really make you question humanity in general, and it's a bad look. Because people have lost their lives, people have lost their houses, their homes, their memories, everything, their pets. And then you have people who are legitimately starting fires in areas. The Runyon Canyon fire, there was an arson. There was a fire that was actually started real close to my house. There was arson that thankfully got put away really quick. So that's the shitty part about all this. The beautiful part is the way that so many people have come together and have gotten meals together and supplies together for these incredible men and women fighting these fires. The people who are flying these planes, I saw this incredible video probably about a week ago of the fucking most beautiful drop from a plane that absolutely doused this fire. There's a lot of really talented people who've been working on this, putting in crazy freaking hours. So my heart and my hat is tipped to the incredible men and women who are putting in crazy hours. Not just from Southern California, but the people that came down from Northern California and other states, and the supplies have been given in for those people has been amazing. So it's been a tough time for Southern California. We had some bad fires. 6-7 years ago, I believe, there was a really bad fire. Northern California has seen, some really rough ones, Paradise, Redding, Santa Rosa areas especially. So it's been, I'm not even going to get into, the frustrations just because that's a whole other rabbit hole around some of the leadership stuff, but yeah, it's been a tough time for everybody involved.
Yeah, and I'm sorry that you and everybody has had to go through it. Obviously,
listen, what
you
I've
literally
had to go
luck
through
out.
is
You
nothing.
literally luck out in this entire, and that's obviously we have friends that also live in Southern California, and it's just like whether or not you're lucky. It's almost like it was a picking and choosing. It was just sporadic wind, 100-mile-an-hour winds or something, just picking one up and missing a home somehow, and then a patch of homes somehow gets saved amongst all the rubble, and then there's survivor's remorse happening. So it's there's nothing good happening in any of this, and I want to let you know, and obviously I hope you've heard the calls from everybody. We are all letting you know that we think what you are going through absolutely sucks, and it is so devastating and so sad and horrific. And the stories about the arsons, obviously, there's always going to be assholes that walk amongst us, and hopefully there comes a time where we're able to handle everything and it doesn't happen. But the heroes that are sprinting in there are also walking amongst us that we're not really reminded of until something like this happens. So, obviously, thanks to them. To hell with the assholes trying to prey on the situation, and to everybody that is dealing with it, we are so sorry. That is literally, I think, all we can say from over here, and hopefully going forward there's some measures that are taken so we don't have to experience this again. And I don't want to pivot away from that because of how real and serious that all is that you're going through, but the decision about the season ending and Super Bowl not hearing from the Jets, I assume, has this perspective changed? Has this thing changed a perspective for you about your life and how fragile and how quick everything can kind of go? And does that change it? Like, is there any life perspective things happening? I know that you're a pretty deep thinker, especially around these moments. This type of situation change anything for you?
Listen, I've sat in a hole in the ground in Nowheresville, Oregon, and I've sat in numerous ayahuasca ceremony circles. So I've done a lot of contemplating in my time and gotten some good perspective adjustments over the years. This is nothing that changes my perspective, other than it's heartbreaking because so many times when there's, I think we can all relate to this reality. So many times where there are issues, whether it's what happened in North Carolina or what seems like yearly devastating hurricanes that happen, or when a bad tornado goes through, or whatever the natural disasters or unnatural disasters that happen. So many times it's out of sight, out of mind, and your heart goes out to those people, but you don't really have like a connection, so many of us, to that specific occurrence or event. But it's different here. I literally flew in, no power, which again, my plight is much less than anybody else has gone through. But I'm just telling you what happened. And I flew in. There's no power. I drive over the hill the next day, and I call Miles. It was like one of the first things I did. I was checking on him because I heard Palisades, and obviously, we all know Miles Teller. We're either fans or, personally, I've known Miles for 17, 18 years.
Love Miles.
Him and his wife Kelly, they're incredible people, and called him, and he's like, yeah, we lost everything. So like that was the first, literally within 24 hours of landing, and with no power, he was like the first person I called, was just to check on him, and that's when it really hit home. Like this is legitimate. They didn't have a chance. They had a short amount of time. They got everything they could. They got Bugsy and what little they could fill into a car and got out. So that's the reality. But the reality is there's thousands of people like that who've been dealing with that, got displaced, lost everything. And like you said, there's some people that somehow, won the lottery and their house got missed. But you're talking about a crazy rebuild that's going to take years. Because it would take years anywhere, but it's LA with terrible, I'm not even going to get into it just because it's so ridiculous. You could go on a small, diatribe about the lack of leadership for so long. But as far as my own decision, I told them I'm going to take some time. They haven't even made a decision on a GM or a coach yet. Once that happens, then that'll take us to the next step, which is conversation. I'm assuming with whoever that individual is. And then, but this is a time where I'm taking time for my body and my mind to clear things. Obviously, it's different because, all that's going on in LA. And again, there's been incredible work done by all the firefighters out here in the departments, and things are actually looking up, which is great. So big shout out to all the men and women working so hard for us to save so many lives, and all the heroes, all the non-professional firefighters. There's a ton of heroes out there who bought their own supplies and saved their houses and neighbors' houses, and the stories are starting to leak out. It's pretty fucking incredible.
Yeah.
A lot of heroes in this, and a lot of villains, and those villains should be prosecuted to the highest degree of the law.
Okay, and hopefully that will take place. Before we move into the next step of the conversation, we'd like to tell Miles and Kelly and Bugsy, we are happy you're okay. Mm-hmm. It sucks that happens, bad, in a bad way. But I feel like being around Miles, even in this negative, devastating thing, he's going to bring the juice.
Oh, yeah.
That guy's awesome.
Still bring it.
Hey, he is awesome.
The man.
Mm-hmm.
I hated him at the beginning.
You did?
Hated him.
Yeah.
Thought he threw me under the bus for no reason. Mm-hmm. Okay, I didn't create the story. All right, so what are you coming after me for? You need to go after somebody else. Did not like him. And I think
you kind of ran with the story without knowing the whole truth.
I didn't report it, and I didn't know the guy. And it was a great.
Real.
It was a great. Certainly, I did not report it though. A legitimate place in his world reported it. Mm-hmm. TMZ, I believe, was the person.
He got jumped by a psycho.
I heard he lost a fight. So in the moment, and I heard there was an entire situation going on over there. So we just talked about it, how it was reported, and I didn't know Miles. And then all of a sudden, I drop it into a WWE show. This guy just got punched in the face like he's Miles Teller. I thought it was great metaphor. Topical, just happened earlier in the day. I didn't make up this story. It was being reported. Didn't know Miles. Thought that's what happened. And then all of a sudden, Miles responds. Hey, cool segue, dude. Did the whole thing. I got jumped, almost died, and robbed. And it's like, I'm like, okay, so then all the tabloids around the world were like, Miles Teller dunks on Pat McAfee, who tries to make a mockery of the situation. So I'm getting murdered again in different languages, just like we have done in the past together. And I'm like, fuck this guy. You didn't have to come back. I didn't create the story. I'm just talking about things that are already in our lexicon and being reported as such. And then we talk.
Hey, good word.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you so much.
Word.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I said a few of them in there. Mm-hmm. And then whenever I talked to Miles for the first time and we kind of chat and we golf together, it was like, oh, this is a good dude. And he probably thought that we were potentially friends at the time. So
He thought you guys might be thrown down a little bit.
I was ready to. Yeah, I was completely ready to. At the UFC fight, we ran into each other. And I had a neck brace on because Baron Corbin had just given me the end of days on the outside. I was with Nick Khan, Triple H, the McMahon family. We go to this UFC fight. We show up for Stylebender coming in with the Undertaker theme. And, Chris Pratt's 2 doors down. We had just talked about his performance in Jurassic Park.
Really good. Yeah, you didn't know him at the time
Jurassic World, did not know him. Yeah. I did not know any of Chris Pratt's work other than Jurassic World, and I certainly had my opinions on that entire thing. Did not love it. And then right next to him is Miles and Kelly. And it was like, all right, on the way, I'm actually telling Triple H on the way out of here, like, hey, there might be some shit on the way out of here. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, there might be some shit on the way out of here. He goes, all right, I'll break it up if you start losing. I'm like, all right, thank you. That's Triple H. Like, that's a hilarious line. I have a neck brace on. I have a fucking neck brace on. I'm in a tank top. So I walk by and Miles goes, hey, can we talk for a second? I go, absolutely. And then here's Triple H. If you look at the photos, Triple H is like watching the whole thing. I think he's like, holy shit, like this is actually going to go. Kelly starts yelling at me because I go, I don't know what your problem is, to Miles, was that what I said to him. And she goes, don't talk to him like that. I didn't know who she was. I had no idea. I said, I will not be talking to you, okay, at this moment. So please, very, matter of fact.
Wow, I didn't realize this is how it went.
Yeah. She started yelling at me. And I once again, now that I know him, mad respect for her also being like, I appreciated it. Hindsight, appreciated it. In the moment, was ready. All right, here we go. I'm fighting Miles Teller in this entire thing. But then we had a quick interaction.
Chris Pratt, he's a big dude, though.
Yeah.
I would have been.
Yeah, I would have got my ass beat. Triple H would have been doing a quick, easy haul.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. Guy's got a neck brace on. If they would have been attacking a guy with a neck brace,
sure.
I mean, the scene.
That was a good setup for you, though, to put that on right before that.
Yeah, there I am.
To get a little bit of.
Here's the photo. That's literally what I look like walking in and out of there. I mean, you got to be absolutely kidding me. It was fun. It was an honor, but that was our first interaction. Seemed like a good dude. Then we talked again later. Then we got to hang out, and I was like, man, I was completely wrong about this guy. I apologize, Miles Teller. That is 100% on me. And I think the reason why he corrected us as opposed to the main story is because I think he thought we were
same group,
simpatico here. We all know the same people. So he was most disappointed with me as opposed to. So I'm like, I'm so sorry. So I fucking love Miles and Kelly. I've never met Bugsy. Bugsy's a dog, a cat, dog. Okay, I don't. I'm asking. Is it a dog, cat, hamster?
It's a service animal.
Okay.
So.
Shout out to Bugsy. I've never met Bugsy. I love Bugsy as well. And to the
AJ, thanks for chiming in finally. Thank you for chiming in there.
Yeah, to the Teller family, we do apologize that you're going through this. We love you guys.
Yeah, we love you guys.
And if anybody if anybody set anything up over there, we would love to help. However we absolutely can. Go ahead, AJ.
I think Miles might need some shirts. Some black shirts, black tanks. Maybe send those over.
Oh yeah. Listen, if he was to wear one, how about him dancing?
Oh my God. Yeah.
That's the best.
He's a good dancer.
So talented. And then somebody was talking.
He's terrible at driving golf carts under ropes, but a good dancer.
Oh, we got one of these. We're taking the top off at the red light.
No, he snapped my driver underneath the rope.
Yeah.
2 years ago. 2 years ago on the Wednesday before Tahoe. Yeah. All right, Age. What's your question?
Hold on. We got
to talk there for a while.
We got to talk more about it because he's a talent. This guy is a super talent.
He is talent.
I didn't watch any of his movies growing up either, so that's 100% on me. I didn't know who he was. But we were with somebody who was talking shit on him about his drumming.
Have you seen that awkward moment?
Yeah.
So good.
No, definitely not.
Classic.
Great movie.
Him,
Great movie.
Efron, Michael B. Jordan.
A couple single guys in New York. It's
Zac
great.
Efron, there's a whole nother situation that I fucking just walked myself right into.
Yeah.
God, you must have tore this town down last night. I've been sober for about 6-7 months now. Okay. All right, Jesus Christ. Nice to meet you, man. I am so, I didn't know anything. So it's pure ignorance on my side. I think everybody knows that. So that is very kind of them. I'm in my world. Football's my world. And anytime I get a chance to get out there, and wrestling, and anytime I get out there, I just try not to embarrass the program. I certainly have, though, and we're going to try to get better. But Miles, thank you for answering whenever that dipshit was trying to talk shit. He did that drum solo in Whiplash. That's him.
He did.
Everybody thinks
He's
that
talented.
it was a hand
He's
replacement.
talented. I'm telling you, he's one of the most talented guys I've ever seen off the golf course.
Yeah, he's not a great golfer. Neither am I, though.
Everything else, though.
Off everything else.
That was right after.
I mean, you're talking about like bar games and bags, darts, washers. Yeah.
He's good.
Flip cup. Yeah.
Good vibes, Miles Teller.
Yeah.
Great.
Without a doubt.
Hey, and we're sending ours to you, Teller family, and it's great to be friends with you guys. Was willing to war. Happy we're not. Happy we are not. Go ahead, AJ.
Aaron, how'd you leave it when you left New York? You meet with Brick and Woody, I assume, and have exit meetings. I'm not sure how you leave with them and what the next timeline might be. And I don't know if you know this, but Monday, Ohio State plays Notre Dame in the national championship. Also, the inauguration. I see some different people announcing they may be performing. Are we going to turn the TV on and see you sitting next to Elon and maybe Zuck and some of those big hitters up there on the stage?
Go long.
You should complete a ball there.
Well, I had seen that there were a couple inquiries. I don't know if they're invitations or not about me going out there, only related to Bobby, because it looks like Bobby's going to be in the cabinet. I will not be anywhere near D.C.
Why?
But why? I don't want any part of that.
Congrats on Red Dye, by the way.
Yeah, Red Dye's got RFK has already got his first win.
Boom.
Well, it's first of many. I hope it's going to be interesting to see what happens. What I do want to watch is I want to watch his confirmation hearing and just see who tries to fuck with him. Like, please, somebody try and get after him and just watch him absolutely mop the floor with any of these senators. So you better come ready, senators. Come ready and try and see if you can pull one over on my boy Bobby, because Bobby's a fucking smart dude. And no notes off the cuff can handle his own pretty well. So excited for him to, and honestly, so should everybody. Like if you spend a minute researching ingredients in products in the States compared to overseas, it's disgusting. It's disgusting what they allow here, the levels that they allow here, products that are terrible for you, products they know are carcinogenic. So it's going to be he's doing a service to everybody if you just let him and get the hell out of the way and stop trying to label him as whatever the fuck they want to label him these days. He just wants to make sure that everything that's being given to our kids is safe. Everything that we're ingesting on a day-to-day basis is safe. And he's going to make America healthy again. He's going to freaking die trying. So wouldn't you want that as the guy in charge, the guy that goes down to Gold's Gym in Venice? Now he does wear jeans when he works out, but the guy's down there shirtless doing freaking 30 pull-ups and lifting a bunch of weights, looking jocked for 70 years old.
Really jocked, yeah.
Speaking of pull-ups, Woody Johnson is a big pull-up guy.
I can tell.
I think
Beast.
He definitely likes to talk about how many pull-ups he can do, which I feel like is a lot. Now he had a little injury that stopped him, but when I talked to him a couple months ago, he said he was back on the pull-ups. So I'm happy to hear that. But yeah, I met with Woody.
Good transition right there. That was a great transition by you right there.
Met with Christopher and Jaime and Coach Olbrich and everybody there had a lot of nice conversations. It was that was a weird transition because literally Monday we're there. I meet with everybody. We start hearing about the fires. Tuesday I'm flying out to the West Coast and I land and it's just shit's going crazy. Just shit's on fire and winds are crazy and I got to the house, the winds were going absolutely nuts. The gate was flying off the handles, and no power. And then my first, like I said, get over the hill, and like, shit, this is on fire. I mean, we're literally driving my buddy to the airport. It looks like, the whole sky is dark. There's on the right, we're going south on the 101. The right is crazy sky, fire, and straight ahead, Pasadena, Altadena. There's a crazy sky as well with flames. So it was weird coming back, but yeah, I had good conversations with all those people, and made my way out here. And then obviously shit's been a little bit crazy for the last 9 days or so.
What are those conversations? How those conversations goes? Because nobody knows what the future is. I think that's what the next question would be if hashtag journalism was to take place. How do those convos go? Just like everybody kind of states where we are, what the situation is. We all understand where we are and what the future could look like. Is that kind of how that goes? And I heard Coach Oldbrick. I didn't hear. There's only one brick.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's all about. I read in the New York Times, The Athletic, it'd be a little bit different than that. You don't have to expand. But what are those meetings like whenever you chat with these people?
Most of those conversations are meant for the people in those rooms.
Take us in there.
Yeah, put us in a room where it happened.
Take us in.
If we were
the best conversations are where, over the years for exit meetings, are where there's somebody taking notes, whether the person you're talking to or somebody else in the room taking notes, and there's constructive criticism on ways to improve how we do things around the building. That's like from player to coach. And then from coach to player, there's constructive ways in which you can show up, do your job better as well. There's some great ones over the years with Mike. Mike was, we used to, because we had such a close relationship, I would be, later in my career, it went by seniority. So, once I got into like the middle 2010s, I was one of the oldest guys on the team. So my slot to meet with Mike, there's 15-minute slots. He met with everybody on the team, which I thought was awesome too. Like literally everybody on the team got a 15-minute slot. And most of the time it went more than that. But we would meet, but then we would meet for an extended time, later in the week or at his house or my house. And, I always felt like everything I told Mike, got taken to heart, and then he would always have things for me to think about, to work on, to contemplate in the off season. So I really appreciate his feedback over the years. It always made me feel like I was being listened to, and that there were things that we could improve on moving forward. But those meetings went hours. These were much shorter than that. I gave some constructive things. There's always things. There's so much that goes into the whole thing. There's the food part, there's the locker room, there's travel, there's hotel stuff, there's different, you're just giving little constructive things here and there that maybe they take to heart, maybe they don't. But I think there's always ways to improve, and I was impressed to see that the meeting with Christopher and Jaime was a lot about that. The meeting about Woody was more about team, future, different things. But I think everybody understands that it's going to come down to a GM and a coach and myself, and whether we all want to do a dance together or if it's not in the cards.
Okay. Tango potential still in New York. If not, there's other spots that are going to be looking for a quarterback. If you were to remain a quarterback in the NFL, that's a decision that you obviously will have to make. Open to anything, attached to nothing at the current moment. You mentioned Big Mike. He's available, isn't he?
Yeah.
Big Mike's going to be out there somewhere. And if they're
hell of a ball coach. What he did this year with the amount of injuries that they had, I thought was amazing. Hearing the guys talk about him, I wasn't surprised, just because anybody that plays for Mike and gets to know him a little bit and get to feel that great big heart that he's got, it's special. So, it was interesting because anybody that knows the business, and Chuck, you know this better than anybody, most of the time coaches have an extra year on their deal, right? So it gives you that buffer. If you get released, you have a year to kind of not have to rush back in there. All these guys, and maybe you can speak more on this, Chuck. I'd be interested in what the mindset is, and maybe if this has ever happened to you. But I think most of the coaches on the staff went into the season without another year on their deal. They're in their last year of their deal, That's a freaking tough way to go about doing it with no guarantees afterwards. Like, have you ever been in that position before, Chuck?
Yeah, after the 2015, the fourth year of my contract, I went in after 3 years. We made it all the way to the AFC Championship game, got the doors beat off of us.
By who?
The boss.
Yeah, Pats. But anyway, you know who it was. But Aaron went in, and I thought, we were 11-5, 11-5, 11-5, made the playoffs every year, advanced in the playoffs, and you're thinking, okay, hey, time to get something new, right?
Time to get some money here. Let's go.
And, I watched, and I love Jason Garrett. He did a great job. He's 8-8, 8-8, 8-8, and he got a new 6-year deal at 6 or 7 per. So I'm thinking, hey, this could be a decent little deal today. And only come to find out that, hey, we're just going to, whatever. So I was like, okay, forget it. I don't want anything. I'm going to bet on myself. So we went into that last year with nothing. And then Aaron, to have to walk down the hallway when they come in, and this happened a couple times, and you have to tell all your assistant coaches, like, they're not re-upping us. Because every year, like, you win and you do well, they come down, they give me the old one, they give you a new one, and you always have that year. And then guys get pissed because they're under contract, and then guys won't let them leave. Well, you sign the thing. It's insurance. It's insurance. It's guaranteed. It's insurance for you. But then on the other hand, you're not afraid because they can block you, so to speak. But
and sometimes guys will bet on themselves and not sign the contract if they're position coaches that want a chance to interview for a job for coordinator, which I totally respect that. I agree. Yeah,
I think.
But it's when most of the staff and the head coach and the coordinators don't have. That to me was like.
Yeah.
No, but
I would think. There's talk about having zero confidence you're going to be back.
But to your point about Big Mike and the job that he did, to go in there and then shut the doors and say, okay, none of us, including myself, we don't have guarantees. We don't have that extra year. But you know what? We signed the contracts. We got the name on the back of our jersey, the decal on the side of our helmet, and by God, hey, look, this ain't going to be a distraction. We're not going to talk about this. We're going to prepare. We're going to coach. We're going to put the time in, and we'll show them.
What would be the reason why Jerry wouldn't bring back Big Mike, you think? Like, why do you think Dio would not?
There's a lot of speculation out there. I think maybe Coach McCarthy wanted maybe a little bit more from a guarantee standpoint, maybe more years. I heard, Troy mentioned this. Some other people mentioned this, that maybe he wanted 4 or 5 years, Aaron. And that Jerry maybe was like, okay, we'll do 2. So maybe there was something.
These are all alleged.
Alleged.
Yeah, but there's rumors hitting like why the deal didn't come play. I assume Dallas Cowboys will put out their reasons. I don't know if Big Mike is a guy that leaks stuff, doesn't feel like he is, but he's on the move. He's going somewhere else, and Aaron might be on the move too, and Devontae might be on the move too. Are we calling up Jordy from the damn farm? Are we putting this thing together? We shall see. Open to anything. Attached to nothing. Now, let's talk about this weekend. I know you have to go. We appreciate your time. Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, Aaron, I know you got a lot going on, but will you make it appointment viewing Sunday when the Ravens and Bills play each other? Josh and Lamar are playing each other. The winner gets the MVP, we've been told. I think that's how it's going to work out this year. And then in your past, did you have any huge games like that where it was you who, 4 MVPs versus someone who was second in MVP, like a matchup of this magnitude?
You'd have to go back and look at that. In 16, I felt like maybe I should have won MVP based on the run that we had. And we played in the NFC Championship, the guy that did win MVP, Matt Ryan. And they beat the hell out of us. I think that determined that maybe they made the right decision there. But no, we've had some good matchups over the years. Obviously, the NFC Championship against Tom was a great matchup. They had a great team. Game felt like we should have won. Obviously, we had made a lot of mistakes in that game. But I will say this: this is the problem, and I'm just prognosticating here. But big problem in the football media is what is going to happen to the loser of that game.
Can't get it done. Can't get it done.
And both guys had incredible seasons, right? Incredible season. Josh, I don't know, until the media, which has a big sway, kind of jumped on the Lamar train, which I don't blame him because he had an incredible season too. But it seemed like it was Josh's MVP to win. He had a phenomenal season, arguably the best player in the league. And the other guy who would probably be in the conversation besides Saquon is Lamar Jackson. And just a little ho-hum 41-4 season for him. But again, they both haven't, won, been to a Super Bowl, which is, everybody's measuring stick for giving somebody some sort of elite status that we have to grovel to receive from the media. So
is that right? You think it's right that way? You guys are judged by Super Bowl wins, I guess.
Who gives a shit? Like judged by who?
Me.
Judged by
AJ. Con man. Ty. Definitely.
No.
Associated
I'm
Press.
sure the shaman judge every once in a while.
Of course. The Associated Press tone, though, I don't know about the shaman down there at the ayahuasca retreat. They're certainly judging, and maybe in the darkness retreat.
The poor ones do. The poor ones
Associated Press tone is definitely judging.
No doubt.
That is what he's all about.
I only lift up.
What? Yeah. All right, Aaron, we appreciate you so much. That's a perfect way to end this thing. You're the man.
That was great.
We send positive vibes to everybody, yourself included, over there in Southern California. And we appreciate the hell out of you, man. Keep going.
Hey, thanks, guys. And again, once again, just a big shout out to all the incredible men and women in uniform because there was obviously incredible firefighters. There was the police who were taking care of everything. We had National Guard protecting the neighborhoods from the looting. Just incredible. Those are the real heroes, for sure, who saved lives and houses and structures and businesses. And it's going to be a long rebuild, like the devastation post Camp Fire up there in Paradise and post the fires in Santa Rosa and Redding and Maui, obviously. But a lot of love going out to anybody that lost their homes, and a lot of gratitude to everybody out there who's keeping us safe. Because there's so many incredible men and women who are putting their lives on the line in these crazy, crazy temperature fires and with the 80 to 100 mile an hour winds. So appreciate you guys. Chuck, love you, brother.
Love you too.
And
love you too,
and your bro as well. Love seeing John as well. He's a great man.
You're putting him in a retirement home, so I hope you feel good about it. All right. We appreciate you, man. We echo your sentiment completely. Obviously, we're not out there, so we're not as close as to it. But thanks to all the people serving the community over there. And I'm excited to watch the build back. Stronger, right? Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen.
SoCal strong.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Some of those photos, man.
Crazy.
Very crazy. All right. We appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, four-time NFL
Cheers,
MVP,
guys.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to a break. On the other side, we will cover all the stories that we haven't hit yet across the entire sports world. And Chuck Pagano will be making his picks for the entire weekend.
Let's go.
Okay.
And for the national championship.
Wow.
Remember, he sucked on Thursday this year.
Yep.
Yes, he did.
But Saturdays, Sundays, guy was great. That's what your words, not ours. We didn't know.
Yeah.
How about Mondays? How have you been on Mondays?
Well, there was one recent deal I did that counted for like 2 or 3, you said.
Yeah, of course.
He's been hot.
Exact score, Ravens.
Exact.
That's right.
Ravens, Steelers.
35-10.
Ravens, Browns.
Ravens, Browns. Week 18.
Last game of the week.
Yeah, I remember that. Exact score. That was
That's
fun.
a lot of points, but
Not enough.
lucky.
Big
Very lucky.
handout season for Chuck.
It's not about luck.
Big time.
Chuck doesn't take handouts. He's a football guy.
No.
He did. He did. I believe it was the second to last Thursday night game.
Well, the spread was changing.
Yeah.
I'd take that as well.
Lions, Packers.
That's a handout.
Nah, it's a decisive gift.
Oh, okay.
It's a vibes gift that was presented to Chuck, and he took it.
He did.
Especially with the way things were going.
Good wording.
35-10 is...
That is worth... I mean, hey, look, that's
And you know what's funny?
People hit that. People actually bet
Hey,
that.
you know what's funny? You shared that with me. That was really cool.
Yes.
I spent $5.30.
Got like $835 or $900 or something.
Yeah.
Good.
And then I guess I didn't think about it. The people that tweeted and said they did it are like, Chuck never gives an exact score. So whenever I heard it, it was just like, might as well put some money on that. Hits home. Let's do it again.
Let's do it again.
Maybe hit all 4 games this weekend. Exact scores. That's the standard.
Could be a millionaire.
You know what the score of the Baltimore-Buffalo game was in Week 4 earlier this year?
What was it?
35-10.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Are we getting a nose to mentalist type situation
Oh,
right
my
here?
God.
Let's get to a break. It's freaking me out.
Played a Madden game last night. Ravens-Bills.
What was the score?
35-10.
No.
Swear to God. Swear to God.
Oh,
Let's get to a
Lord.
break. It's freaking me out.
Derrick Henry had 3 touchdowns.
Simulation.
Holy shit.
Speaking of.
Axel Hawk versus sections. 35 wins, 10 losses.
Yeah.
Entire sections of stadiums. Think about that.
Vetter against toilets?
35, 10. Had him early. Vetter buried it. Tucked his shirt in, walked right out. Business has been handled. Deal with it.
Took a massive shite this morning. Thought I lost 35 pounds.
Turns out.
Only lost 10.
Oh,
holy
my
hell.
God. Oh, good.
Holy hell.
Crazy.
Whoa. I mean,
Tone, any 35 references that you can just kind of come off from your morning that you had here?
My family tells me I should act like my age, which is 35, but I actually act like I'm 10.
All right.
I like that one, too.
All things are kind of turning up one way.
Yeah.
Let's get to a break. I have an update. Dan Orlovsky's kids team beat Gunner and Bo yesterday. Last night.
Was it 35?
Yeah, was it?
Definitely. It's 35-10.
I think it ended up being an 8-point differential.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe a 9-point differential. Remember? Read the text to everybody.
Yeah. You did.
We're down 1 with 6 to go. They went on a 10-1 run. I said, sweet, you won by 8. And he said, or 9. And I said, well, I don't know how math works anymore, I don't think. And I said, congrats on the win. And they gave a fist pound back. Still don't know what the final score was. No. But I know it wasn't 35-10.
Okay. No, I was going to say.
Let's call him. Let's call him up. We need to get an answer on this.
We need to get an answer on a couple things.
Because there's some math. Yeah, exactly. Who was he coaching?
No, like, what was he doing dancing like that at Jennifer Hudson's show? It's
true.
Oh, you're right.
The internet's the greatest place on earth. I saw Dan Orlovsky getting killed because this guy dancing.
No, what getting killed? What do you mean? The guy's a good dancer. They're saying, hey, Dan, you're a good dancer.
That's what the video is, yeah. But if you've seen the remarks underneath, it was almost like a bird call, like, hey, bury Dan Orlovsky.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of people been doing that lately. Like, hey, use this as an opportunity to kill somebody. It's like, oh, great. What was that person doing? Just hanging out coaching their kids' game.
That's right.
That's all they're doing.
And all of a sudden, somebody that happens to be a basic looking white
with some kind of
Jennifer Hudson with a little Dano hair.
Yep.
It's over. Hey, let me provide another opportunity to kill a guy. There isn't enough, but here's another one. And I'll tell you what, Dan deserved it.
Yeah.
That guy shouldn't look like him that much.
He shouldn't.
That's on Dan.
Dan did fucking deserve that.
Shave your head, Dan.
He brings a lot on himself.
He tries. Yeah, he lives under the hoop. That's the thing. He lives under the hoop. Like he lives there. So every once in a while, he's going to Wemby.
Yeah.
You know, but every once in a while, he's going to get Vince Carter. And it does. It does happen to Dan. And you know what he does? Gets right back in the paint.
It does.
Dusts off his pants.
Oh, he never stays down.
You bury him 10 times. He'll give a wild take 11 times.
Bingo.
There's no stopping the
100%.
Orlovsky train.
No.
Sounded like he really wanted to coach. Did you hear that yesterday? It was like an interview whenever he was on.
Yep.
He was laying it out. I don't know what his contract status is in the TV world, but like it felt like he was.
What was the unexpected doors subtweet that he put out? That's another. When you put that on to how he was speaking, you're like, okay, what's going on?
He's a sub.
Shit's so annoying, man.
Tag
The
somebody.
buyout,
Just say what you want to say.
The buyout's got to be nothing. You fart that much on TV, your buyout
See,
can't be that.
let me provide another opportunity.
Exactly.
All right, let's get to a break. He did not answer. What's his deal? What's that all about?
Hey, quick shout out. Quick shout out.
What's that, brother?
Quick shout out.
Obviously.
Of course.
Yes.
Constance,
Yeah.
Wait, is this
Palisades.
Is it January 16th?
Sis lost her house.
Oh, no.
She lives in the Palisades.
yikes.
40 years there.
Good shout out,
So
man.
shout out to Constance. Gumpy, if you want to say
Come on,
some
Pat.
bull crap.
Serious, Pat.
That would be condolences,
It's a real
not
thing.
a shout
Right
out.
next door to
Coach.
Aaron, right there by Malibu.
We
yeah.
would like to let Connie know that we are so sorry that happened to her and many others.
It's terrible.
To be clear, I think Connor and myself thought a positive thing was coming.
Yeah.
Like another birthday.
A shout out usually isn't something.
here's
like
Maybe
that.
a bingo hole victory for the first time.
Here's the positive, right?
She's getting $750 from Joe Biden.
Already moving forward. Like, okay, look, we've got our lives, we've got our health, we got our kids. Life's good. It's a material thing. You can rebuild. You can start over.
Connie, we love you.
Good luck, Connie.
That's the right mindset.
Connie.
That's not an easy mindset. Not everybody's going to be able to have that immediately, but that's why she's an absolute G.
That's right.
I do not envy anybody. There she is. Greatest sumo wrestler
Sumo
America's
champion.
ever had.
Yeah.
Domo arigato.
Domo.
Constance Pagano.
Yes.
Domo arigato, Constance Pagano.
Domo.
What they said.
Arigato. Constance Pagano.
Ohio, Constance. Good morning, I believe. Japanese. Do not touch on my mustache.
Oh, that got us in trouble.
I don't know what that means. Do not touch my mustache. Is that what it was? It sounded like they were saying, do not touch my mustache.
You said sayonara.
So I just started saying it to everybody.
Sayonara, that plays over there.
No. Their language sounds nothing like ours.
No. At all.
Yeah, I'd say.
And it reads nothing like ours either over there.
No.
So you hear something that sounds like what you're saying. It's almost like what my 21-month-old is doing now.
Sure.
She makes the sounds of what the words are, all of them. Well, dropped the no shit the other day. It was awesome. I've never been more like proper usage right there. Yes. I don't know if she knew what it was right, but she's doing the sounds. That was very much what it was like over in Japan with Japanese, because I was trying to embrace these people. They are not talkers outside their house.
No.
They do not. It is a very quiet society. I was trying to really have a good time over there and embrace it and trying to talk. And I'm a communicator, I think. And the words were tough. But one of the translators sent me in there. I thought I was saying one thing. I was saying something else.
He gave you a bomb.
Well, no, because I'm an American in Japan, so that is still.
That doesn't play.
They gave us a lot of warnings, actually. Do not go to here. There are still some. Do not go here, and obviously we head directly there. Had a great time. It was beautiful country. Beautiful culture.
Yeah.
Legitimately.
Unbelievable.
People are much nicer to us than I think they were telling us they were going to be to us. I think a lot of people were expecting them to not be. We got along well over there, I think, in Japan. I think we made some real friends.
Unbelievable. You ever seen a place so, like, as many people that live there?
Clean.
And how clean and how much order there is? I mean, there is no BS going on. And there's no cops. There's nobody. I mean, everybody just minds their own business, to your point about not talking. They had the masks on long before they were required, right? Everybody was wearing them.
Yeah, and you talk about no cops. Thank God, because Chuck kicked the door down in one of the bars. So,
Coach.
Yeah, I mean, we got out of there quickly. I don't think we earned any friends in that particular establishment, but we found another. And we got along.
Did we ever?
We found a few. I don't know.
Some sake.
A lot of sake.
Hey. Quail eggs and sake.
That's yes, I believe. Hey.
Talk about seeing some.
Well, the door.
What's that, brother?
You drink sake cold or hot? I've had it both ways.
Both. There's also a rattlesnake moonshine.
Well, in those bottles,
Venom.
That 100, yeah, all those bottles had the snake in them.
Yeah.
Real fucking wild.
Yeah, it was wild shit. I mean, there was some wild shit over there, and I feel like they were taking advantage just because we were dumb Americans. But we went on board with it. We had a great time. I'd go back.
How about Conti had family there?
Yeah, we met up with an uncle.
Right?
He's working in the stock market over there because it's 12 hours ahead or 16 hours ahead or something like that. So normally the Japanese market is a good indicator on what's going to happen in the United States market. So he was over there in Tokyo. I mean, it was
crushing it.
I feel like we learned a lot. He took us to a local sushi place. I mean,
that was good. We got good boozed up there.
Yeah, we got pretty.
The ride over, I think we had a train ride. That took forever.
We got pretty fucked up pretty much everywhere we were.
Sure, we should go.
We did our thing. USO, which was great to see all the military families that are living over there, which is a lot. We got a lot of people in Japan. We got an entire island in Japan down there. The families of those who are serving, living a completely backwards life, feels like that USO trip is one where they're like actually appreciative that like American culture is there. You know, I think some USO tours you go on, they're not necessarily thrilled that they have to come meet. You know, they're in the middle of some, we are not at necessarily. But this one was like a lot, I think, for the families, because it was like a piece of American culture was over there. Even the people that weren't Colts fans were like happy to see some American culture. And then as we were transporting to the next town or next city, we certainly wanted to say hello to the locals.
Sure.
Yes, we did.
And we did. We did.
You had to get a feel for it.
Had to understand what the culture was. Don't know if I'm going to get back. Sweet, so much.
Godzilla.
Yeah, Godzilla, Anthony Costanzo. You should have seen him over there. What's this one? Yeah. He's abnormal where we come from, too. And then we just kept it rolling. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who might be able to clarify some things. Dan Orlovsky.
There, Dan.
Dan, how you doing, bub?
I'm great. How are you?
I'd be much better if you answered some questions. Thank you for taking the time here. It looks like you're in transport from one television show to the next. And we talked about you coaching in the NFL potentially next year, and then you chatted about your coaching championship game last night. And I texted with you. I told the boys. You said you were down 1 with 6 to go. Then you go on a 10-1 run. And I said, oh, you win by 8. And then you said, or 9. And then we said, nonetheless, congratulations on a big-time win. You guys stuffed Bo and Gunner. How did the Orlovsky boys play? And how much did you actually win by? Because I don't think I understand the math equation enough.
Yeah, it wasn't a championship game. It was just undefeated versus undefeated.
Oh,
okay.
Season's just kind of getting started. I don't think I said championship game. I just said big game. No, it wasn't two. No, it didn't. I never said it was a championship game.
Kind of made us feel like it was.
Definitely oversold.
Champion.
Everybody kind of thought it was championship. I think, AJ, you thought it was championship match?
Yeah, I did.
Toxic table?
Without a doubt.
Whole
Yeah.
town
No
was talking about
basketball is fucking championship game in June, like the early January.
Oh, yeah, you're right. They don't play weekend tournaments. Yeah, that isn't a thing.
Thought it was a shirt and T-shirt.
Well, it wasn't a weekend. It was a Wednesday.
Yeah, but that's where the championship is because it was decided on a weekend, obviously. So
Midweek.
more eyes on us if you watch film.
Bo had some success. He had some good reverse layups. And some steals.
Up and unders.
Yeah. That was his go-to move. It was frustrating. Gunner had some good shots, but I do think defensively as a team we did a solid job with Gunner. My sons, Noah stunk. No, he wasn't strong enough with the ball.
Bears to be out here.
Come on, Noah.
Enough, in my opinion.
Built the arc.
He played hard. He played hard for moments, but I think he could play harder. Hunter played his rear end off. 3-and-D guy. Played very good defensively.
Way to go.
That's your boy.
I think I don't. It was either 42 to 33 or 43 to 32. It's one of those.
Okay, well, that would either be 11 or 9. Neither of them would be 8, which is the math that you gave me immediately after the game. But nonetheless, we are very happy. How about Hendricks and Ari? Ari put up a couple good shots.
Ari could hoop now. That kid could hoop.
Yeah.
The only downside is
we knew it.
He's got to work on his perimeter game. But he can get to the rack. He can get to the rack. Couple Euro steps by him.
Ooh.
Hendricks was who I thought he was. Just plays really, really good defense.
As advertised.
Hustles to the ball. Not a scoring threat though right now. Not a scoring threat, but plays his tail off.
Well, all these boys are obviously going to get better because of good coaching. After yesterday's announcement to the world that you're definitely going to get into coaching next year if you get the opportunity, has any more people called you? And what are your thoughts on it?
Jeez, dude, you put me in such a position with these, man.
That's journalism. Hashtag.
I have had one more person reach out since that moment.
Never would have guessed.
I haven't spoke to them. It was just a brief text message, and I have to call them.
Brady?
I still feel the same way.
What they say? Hey, man, I heard your offensive playbook is going to be all the good plays and none of the bad plays. Why doesn't everybody do that? You want to come to join our team? Is that what they said?
Verbatim. No, they just said, hey, are you seriously entertaining coaching? And I responded back with, yeah, it's something I'm interested in. And they said, can we talk today? And I said, sure.
All right. Excited to hear how that goes. Hopefully you'll keep us updated. The world, you'll subtweet your way through it, hopefully. And congrats to the Orlovsky boys. Noah, let's tighten it up. Come on. A lot of season left, brother.
Dad's pissed at you, dude.
A lot of season. Hunter, way to go.
I gotta get Noah to play hard all the time. He's still he's still kind of just at moments does, and at moments I'm like, what are we doing, dude?
Hey, you're either teaching it or allowing it.
That's right.
Smack him around.
Your Menno explode.
I said to him last night.
That's part of your resume.
That's right. You heard Chuck's
Coach,
former coach.
Coach, I told him last night during a play where he didn't do what I, kind of had stressed. He didn't get on the ground for a loose ball, and I looked at him. I said, either get on the ground or get off the court.
I like that.
That's
start crying.
What did he do? He crawled off the court, rolled off the court, or did he stay on? He stay on her.
He's pretty good with that stuff. I can't do that to Hunter because Hunter will, still kind of get too emotional about it. He's pretty good. All right, he gets into the right mindset after that.
You gotta coach each person individually.
Exactly.
You gotta be able to reach everyone. I appreciate that. Hopefully, more people will understand that you're ready to coach because last night, Bo and Gunner had no shot. They knew it. They knew it going in.
Yep.
And there's a lot of season left. Congrats on still being undefeated, even though you misled us all to think it was a championship. We're still happy about an early season Wednesday win.
Boom.
For your boys.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's that?
Hey, tell D-Butt just texted me saying, wear a seatbelt.
You should.
It's a good point.
Are you in the front seat or back seat?
Save DQ's
I'm
life.
not driving. I'm not driving.
You can. So what? You can kill everybody if you don't have a seatbelt in the car.
Not you, but you
could in your own car.
Yeah. I don't know how you would do it because their body.
Bingo.
Your body flew
See the
up and shot the
commercials.
driver's head off.
Still die in the
around.
back seat or the passenger
Break
seat.
everybody's neck.
Like a missile.
AQ, very thankful for the seatbelt.
Yeah.
Now, granted, you can actually see the seatbelt welt across his entire stomach around his body, and then you see bruising. Almost looks internally.
Yeah, bad.
Bad bruising around the rest of his stomach because a drunk driver smoked him last week whenever he got home back to Phoenix.
AQ?
Airbags, the whole thing, yeah.
Triple.
And it looks nasty. It looks very, very nasty.
Oh, my gosh.
I've never been a seatbelt wearer, okay? Never. Because when I was younger, one of my friend's uncles died in a crash because he couldn't get the seatbelt off. It was actually melted. It was a fire. So, like, I heard that, and then every time I hear somebody be like, well, seatbelt saves your lives, I'm like, well, I actually heard.
I know a guy.
There is a situation where it was the complete opposite that happened. So I always thought about that. But then, like, you know, you hear these stories, like AQ shares a story, and then somebody else shares a story, and then something happens at like a game day person has a story, and it's like, now, with my daughter, I fucking put that thing on. And every time I put it on, it's like,
Good for you.
like it's first time in my life I put it on, I always go, yeah,
Doing right
I'm wearing a seatbelt.
Yeah.
I always feel like I'm an adult now. You can't do it, obviously. All right, we understand. We understand. You trust the driver, I guess. Trust the driver.
I'm bad at it, too. I'm bad at it.
Me too. I actually had it in and around the back of the seat, so I didn't even have to feel it, and I didn't have to hear the beeping. That's how I used to be. Now, every time.
Click it up.
Click it or ticket, brother.
Boom.
I don't love that became a rule. I don't think they should be looking for more reasons to pull people over.
I don't think that's a thing anymore.
It isn't. Yeah, it's a secondary ticket.
Okay, good, but I'm sure they can find a primary reason to get you on
It's
the.
like a different
Oh,
color.
Sure. Looking at
phone's
your
the primary
phone.
now.
Yeah,
Sure.
Phones are now.
Distracted driving is a big topic of conversation.
Not good at that either.
I'm curious.
I ride motorcycle, you know,
What are you guys?
so I see, like, you actually see into cars, and it's like, if you're in a 2-lane and you can see in the car phone, it's like we're either gunning this by them, or we are not gonna. You can tell, like, when people are, I want to say like a ticking time, but almost,
leaning,
you know. And it's like we do got to get better as a society so we can all continue to enjoy all the benefits of technology that we have. So let's continue to do it. Let's not fuck it up, and let's stop drunk driving. Okay, let's wear our seatbelts so we stay alive for our family, if that's how you feel. And let's enjoy this life. All right, Coach, we appreciate you, man.
All right, boys.
All right, dude. I'll throw a shocker your way, too, bro.
Shocker.
Later.
Why were you dancing at that show earlier?
Yeah, Jennifer Hudson show.
What were you doing
Pretty
on
good,
there?
though. You're good, man.
Yeah, good knee
Yeah,
bend.
you got moves,
I sent
brother.
that video. Is that video that's everyone tagging me in type thing?
Yeah. They're not just tagging, they're also
You're
attacking.
You're grooving, brother.
You are.
You got good knee bend, I'll say.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that out of you.
Do we have that?
Yeah.
I'm sure we can pull it up.
What are you doing?
I'm
I
sure.
missed it.
Don't entice
How'd the
it,
appearance
Coach.
go?
Was it a typical white?
Oh, there you
No,
go.
no,
your
no.
knee
Look
bend.
at the knee bend.
Your hips feel great.
No, go earlier. Go earlier.
Yeah.
Get the whole thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a little bit more to it.
Yeah, here
There
we
it
go.
is. Let me hear
Hey.
it.
Hey.
Make a noise.
Dano.
Oh, wow. They are
Dano.
clapping.
Who is
Good
that?
for you. Good
That's
for
you.
me.
Yeah,
Good
Yukon
for
colors.
us.
Daniel Orlovsky.
Yeah, hey, team. I don't know if he was necessarily pumped that he was going to do this. Didn't look at the camera one time. Kind of stayed away from it.
Yeah.
A little shying away, but absolutely killed it. There's Dano on the way out.
Is that
Great fit.
NFL Live every day?
Jazz hands?
Right into Jennifer Hudson show.
Hey.
Oh.
Hey.
All right, Dan, think
We
about
don't
adding
know
that
who
to the
that is,
routine. Go ahead.
We don't know who that is.
He's an actor from Abbott Elementary, I believe.
Great show. That show's a good one. That's got Joel on it.
Yeah.
Abbott Elementary.
Joel.
Yeah, Joel's in it.
Joel.
Joel Osteen?
No, there's only 3 Joels. There's Joel Klatt, Joel Osteen, and then Joel
McHale.
That bingo, thank you.
And he's on Abbott Elementary?
He's not.
God, no.
He's on
Similar
a
type of show, though.
I love Joel McHale. He was on for Washington on game day.
Correct.
Came in full body paint.
Yeah.
Dog.
Yeah. Yes.
And then picked up a dog, I think.
Yeah.
Held, not his dog.
No, the Husky.
The Husky.
Yeah, and held, and then got paint on dog legend. I enjoy. So he's not an Abbott Elementary.
He is not. No.
Who is an Abbott Elementary? Do we know?
The
That guy?
creator is Quinta Brunson. It's won a bunch of awards.
So yeah, it's nobody you would know. Oh, have you seen Parent Trap with Lindsay Lohan?
Lohan, I have seen that.
You know Jessie, the one who is like Dennis Quaid's like housekeeper.
Yes,
she's in that.
Okay, there you go. Parent Trap's a good movie.
Yeah.
Housekeeper has a great role.
together.
Very important role in that entire movie is the housekeeper.
Yeah, there she is, Lisa Ann Walter.
Yep, bingo, that is her.
Yep.
Huge role in Parent Trap.
Without a doubt.
I do remember that.
Walter.
So there actually isn't a white guy in the show.
Yeah, Chris Perfetti, the guy who's dancing.
That's not. So I was way off. I mean, I wasn't even close to guessing somebody in this particular.
No. Joel McHale does have a show on Fox, though. This is an NBC show.
Of course it is. Dana, why don't you get into acting instead of coaching? We need you out there, especially with those dance moves. We appreciate you, man.
Not happening. Later.
Are you on NFL Live today, or we got more TikToks to make?
NFL Live and then Sports Center at 6.
All right, well,
hell yeah.
Hang loose, bruh.
Crush it, bruh.
Good luck, bruh.
I'll throw that thing at you.
Love.
Right,
You got this, bruh.
Certainly had us believing that was a championship game last night.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Only reason why we asked about Gunner and Bo and Hendricks and Ari is because we wanted to know the championship lineup.
Bingo.
Yeah.
It's all right, now we're following the season with these boys.
Yep.
Exactly.
Noah and Hunter need to tighten it up. Hey, let's win an Addy, boys. I don't even know if that's possible at that age and what level they're at, but let's win this thing. I'm pulling for them. Bo and Gunner will come back stronger if I know anything about them.
No doubt.
Yeah.
A lot of season left for Bo and Gunner.
Based on what he said
Get on the
about
floor or get off.
I like that. Based on what he said about Hendricks, that kid's gonna be a fucking wrestler.
Defense, yeah.
Yeah,
Can't score, yeah.
He ain't gonna be a basketball player, so he should have fun while he can.
They're still trying to learn their way.
Yep.
You know, basketball will certainly teach him something that'll help him in whatever sport he goes into, or maybe he becomes
goes to work.
An assassin.
Yeah, he could.
Maybe. We don't know.
That's Ari. We know Ari's the best player on the team. We know
Bingo.
that. Dan keeps shading him for some reason and won't like. We have to ask him to keep bringing him up.
Well, I think it's because he and Hunter potentially play similar roles on the team. But Ari,
Euro,
yeah. Name like that.
Gonna go. All right, let's get to a break. We're back on the other side. Chuck Pagano will pick all the games this weekend. Football. I'm excited to hear it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This should be good.
I'm excited. I've done a lot of research.
Look at all these notes.
Got a lot of.
Can't see him behind our stack of papers, but he's got a bunch of papers too. Full notebook. How many notebooks this year?
I think 4.
Jeez.
For a 500 record.
Yeah.
Come on.
Hey, you know what question I wanted to ask Dan?
Jeez Louise. What's that?
And I'll ask you boys the question. Do you think the text was from a guy that's currently employed as a head coach or one that's possibly
Mark Davis. I assume Mark Davis was the text.
To Dan?
Call Dan.
Yeah.
Call Dan back. Call Dan back. Let's ask him that question. That's a good question. Yeah, because somebody trying to put a
I don't know
staff
if he can
together.
answer, but
Somebody putting a staff together to
Yeah.
pitch the staff,
yeah.
or does somebody have a hole in their staff?
My guess would be one of the newbies. Or maybe somebody that's going to lose a guy to a job.
That's only 2 options, right? Hey, Dan Orlovsky is back. Hey, Chuck has a question for you. You can obviously choose not to answer it.
So the text that you got, I was just curious, was that from a coach that's currently employed as a head coach or one that possibly is going to be employed as a head coach?
He would be one that has the potential to become employed as one.
Okay, so they're like pitching staffs, trying to see what the staff would be. Have you gotten messages from people that have a staff and maybe lose a position, coach?
Jeez, dude. Yes.
Okay, good. All right,
Cold
so both.
climate in Wisconsin, potentially.
All right, we appreciate
Thanks,
you, ladies and
Dano.
gentlemen. I can get you a
Anything for you,
mansion.
coach.
Before you make that
Somewhere in
decision, make sure you
Wisconsin.
make
He's gone.
that decision, call me.
Yeah, well, he's gone. He don't want to hear it, coach. You got 36 years of coaching football. Why the fuck would he want your advice? He just hung up on your face.
Yeah.
What if it was Lombo though? What if it was Lombo trying to see if he wants to be the OC in North Carolina?
I know they respect each other.
They got one. They got one. He hired Freddie Kitchens.
Who?
Oh, he did.
They retained
They
him.
hired-
He retained him.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
retained Freddie, I think.
At North Carolina?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I just
As
said
the
Josh
OC?
McDaniels right
Yeah,
I don't
he-
think he's the OC though.
No.
At least I
ain't
thought I
coming.
read that.
He ain't coming to New England.
Who?
Dan Orlovsky. I heard you just say Josh McDaniels. That ain't happening.
No, I'm talking about down in North Carolina. I said to Lombardi, Josh McDaniels potentially going to be available depending upon what happens up in New England or other places. I didn't even know they kept Freddie Kitchens down there. Once again, there's me just fucking saying something
I
very
don't think he's
disrespectful
OC.
He's not.
without knowing it.
Yeah, I don't think he's OC either.
Okay, good.
He's big fella, too.
Well, he's.
I don't know how big Miles is. I didn't even know who Miles Teller was. I had to look him up.
So I learned about him on Top Gun. but he's a child star, I guess, from way back. I did not know. I didn't watch any of the games.
Like which?
I didn't play any of the games. I didn't do that.
I don't know if is he a child? Was he a child guy? I mean, he was in movies when he was young, I guess, but I don't think he was on like Nickelodeon, was he?
No, but like as like a teenager, he started to get. Nah,
what was he in?
It wasn't Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Project X was probably like
That's the one.
Yeah, he played Miles Teller.
Yeah, he played himself, but he wasn't like a big time superstar at the time. No.
But he was in a lot of shit. What was the one he talked about?
That awkward moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, he mentions that movie all the time. I've never seen it.
Mid-20s, late-20s.
Who watched that movie? Was that a kid's movie?
No, when we were in like probably after college.
So he's not a child star.
No.
Is it a rom-com?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'd say rom.
I don't know shit about him.
What's a rom-com?
Romantic comedy. You don't know.
Like what Matt McConaughey did for 10 years.
That awkward moment was 2014.
Vince Vaughn, Matthew McConaughey, those types of things.
I thought that was like, yeah.
What'd you think it was? A
What
porno?
did you think?
Yeah, exactly.
Miles Teller's whipping dick around there. That's what you think? You think he's the OnlyFans guy?
That is one of the gags.
I'm
from
not
that
going to
movie.
say anything bad about
Learned a lot
anybody.
from Johnny
Certainly not
Sins.
Miles
Yep.
Teller. I don't want to be walking through a deal with a neck brace on. And
Whoa. Listen, he would have looked bad if he fought a guy in a neck brace.
Yeah.
Especially after what was coming out of Hawaii. I knew that.
And if he fought Chuck Pagano in a neck brace,
Jeez.
yeah, it'd be a tough look.
Could you imagine Chris Pratt and Miles Teller, though, just both fighting me at that moment? I mean, I walked in, it could have been a more worst time group of celebrities of all time.
That was when Chris Pratt was like training for the terminal list too.
Yeah.
So he was strapped.
Yeah, he was down
Military training.
Yeah.
And that was the first thing I'd seen of Chris Pratt was Jurassic World. Then I watched
The terminal
List
Yeah.
with Jack Carr, and I'm like, wow, I love this guy.
This guy's a man.
He's the greatest human of all time. I wish I could go back in time. That's all me. Didn't watch a lot of movies. Didn't watch a lot of shows. Books, not really my thing either. So I'm learning as we go. A lot of good people out there.
Chris Pratt's great.
Yes, he's a great actor.
Yeah, Tomorrow War, also a great one on Amazon.
And what was the one where he was here in Indiana?
Parks and Rec.
Boom.
That was his start.
Yeah.
And he's like the best part of that show.
Absolutely. He was homeless, right? Didn't they say he was homeless?
Yeah, he's like the
For parts of it.
Yeah, he lived in a hole for a
His
little bit.
life.
jovial fat guy.
Oh,
yeah.
in real life, yeah, he was in Hawaii, just like living in like a van on the beach down there.
Yeah, and it costs a lot of money to get to Hawaii, so you make that decision to do that, but just kind of not really doing much
No, yeah,
with
he-
your life
he
and then
worked at-
becoming superstar.
He worked at Bubba Gump and like kept making. He was a waiter and he kept making some girl laugh, and she was like a big time like talent exec in L.A. And she was like, "Hey, you should leave here and move to L.A." And
That's all she wrote.
yeah, legit.
Congrats, Chris Pratt. Sorry for disrespecting Jurassic World. I think you watched it. You knew where I was coming from.
I think that actually happened. I don't think he's in the new one.
Yeah, I'm not doing that again.
He's married to Arnold's daughter.
The script was too good.
He's a Schwarzenegger.
Really?
Yeah.
They have a kid.
How's Arnold? I saw him walking the other day. He looked
They
like
canceled the Super Bowl
Killing it.
commercial with Allstate or State Farm. Yeah.
Yeah, because everything that's going on. Let's get to a break. Aaron was starting to dive into that.
It was.
Yeah.
There's a couple. I'm not even going to get into that diatribe.
Right,
With
it's
that
different.
being said,
I've been listening to all of it for the last 3-4 days coming out of there
Bill Burr did it a bit last night.
it's a lot.
with leadership out there.
It's crazy. Well, it's just like when COVID happened. Like your local positions, like back in the day, mayor. What are you taking care of? Potholes.
Yeah.
Some other in most cities. No, I'm not talking about LA. LA is vastly different. Obviously, LA's got a lot going on. But in most cities, it's like, what are you normally dealing with on day to day? Let's cut ribbon here. Let's do some initiatives for our schooling.
Build a field.
Let's build a house, maybe a shelter. Let's do that type. And then COVID happened, and now the spotlight was on. Now local leadership meant more than ever. And I think a lot of people saw a lot of things and were like, well, how is this happening? And then here, this takes place, and it's like, well, how is this? I don't. Every time, seemingly, there's been a lot of people that have failed to test. And when it comes to that particular thing, but then we got to remember there's probably some people somewhere that do not get highlighted, that are doing great work, that are in public service, even in LA right now as they're continuing to try to figure it all out. So let's remember there's always good in everything, even though there's always going to be assholes. We have to remember that in life. You know? Some people think we're the assholes.
Sure.
Probably
There's way more good. There's way more good than terrible. But the terrible ones just stick out more.
Negativity hogs the publicity, but let's never forget that there's heroes that walk amongst us. For every bad thing, there's somebody good or a group of people good trying to combat it. That's always happening. But this one is always going to be talked about more. We're lucky to be alive. Let's never forget it. We thank everybody that runs into the dangers as opposed to running away from it in California. We are so sorry you're going through this. We'll be back on the other side with some football talk, some sports talk, some picks, and hopefully a distraction for the people going through anything in your life. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Take 5. They can run it. They can spin it. They can kick it. This Buckeyes team is playing football at a level nobody else in the country is playing right now.
That's crazy. And also take us off the fucking team. We do not deserve to be on there.
They all commit and love what's going on in that weight room. They all commit and love what Jim Harbaugh's preaching. And everybody in the building's happy. Everybody's like excited to be there.
First row, Mark Pressure, the first row. Second row was on here.
It is infectious what they got going on. And how many owners are spending $300 million on a new facility just for the practice facility?
This is Butler Birdies. Wow!
Oh my God! Oh shit! In the bunker.
That's a great shot. But then for them to do it upright for the last couple, it's like, look out for the Chargers, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Look out for the Chargers.
Coach. Hey, we got a gift for you. Here we go. Okay, so we missed your birthday, we missed Christmas. We couldn't have.
Whoa, look at that.
Your perspective on high fives is one of the greatest things we've ever seen.
So all-time great invention. I love the high five. Yeah, give each other a high five.
Boom!
Damn.
Boom!
Damn.
Yes! Boom! Boom!
Oh my God!
Wow! Boom!
So we wanted to make you basically something that you could high five. My dad made this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
He is talented.
Yeah, boom.
Keep that feeling.
Yeah, boom. Yeah, boom, boom. And we tested. I think you can give it a pretty good pop if you need. Yeah.
That is incredible.
Obviously, national champion, Michigan man, and greatest high five.
Yeah.
Because of what you brought for the high five world.
Oh, yeah.
He tried to give a handshake to that particular high five trophy. Did break the hand off. We had to put it back on.
There you go, handshake.
Oh, no!
There we go.
We have so much respect for you.
You guys just roll deep. This would be entourage level, wouldn't it?
To be honest, we didn't know we were going to be able to get 11 people in here, and then we pulled up and said, you have 11. That's where it should roll 11. Yeah, always start 11. Yeah, you're right. Little guys. I mean, wow, it looks like a lot of highlights against one particular team.
They played more than one game. Why do they have all these TVs for one game?
Imposing our will.
This sucks.
Party in the backfield. No one. We mean no one. How beats the Hut, but this might be close.
I love that Chargers team even more now.
If you were to touch this grass, it would feel as if the history of football was kind of one with your soul, one with your body. And then you look at the views, the sand, Gabriel mountains with the cotton candy clouds, the way the sun will rise and then the sun will set, and as the sun is setting tonight, there's going to be a football game taking place. You're talking about movie stuff. What do you think it is about your team in that locker room, and why do you think you guys have been able to show up every week?
I think the buy-in on our team is unbelievable. We talk about a player-led team. I think a lot of people say that, but so rarely do you actually see it.
Two Goliath Big Ten teams. What a magical matchup here in the Rose Bowl. And watching Ohio State do what they did to Tennessee, it felt good for the North. It did. It felt good for the bowl.
Look at that field.
God, look at those mountains.
Look at those mountains. San Gabriel Mountains. There's the field.
The San Gabriel.
San Gabriel Mountains.
I believe that means the Gabriel.
All parties and all agree that it's in the best interest of everybody and public safety that we postpone the game for 24 hours.
AJ Hawk's working for the bowl. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to beautiful Pasadena, California, the granddaddy of them all, the 111th Rose Bowl, which will be taking place on the most beautiful field in the history of football. The Oregon Ducks, who are the Big Ten champs, will take on the Ohio State Buckeyes. The college football playoff is obviously in the middle of a transition era, but we go back in time into a movie-like setting to battle in the Big Ten to see who gets to move on and who goes home. Our UFO just flew over top B-2 smoke bomber and in the national anthem. And on a day in the United States of America where a heinous act has happened, it's a nice reminder that we'll get your ass. You might take a shot, but you're never gonna win. And 10 for Will Howard. Same exact play action. Drops it off to Jeremiah Smith. With space. He's a monster. Jeremiah Smith. First touch is a touchdown. Time. Shot down middle. Puka. Ooh, touchdown.
See the split safeties right here. So Will Howard knows his read, looks him off, steps up in the pocket. Great throw.
Takes a shot. And what happens? Jeremiah Smith comes up with the ball. Handoff. Run to the left. Jordan James. Will Howard. Time. Oh, no. Jeremiah Smith's wide ass open. And that's a touchdown. Ohio State is kicking the living shite out of the Oregon Ducks. If Jeremiah Smith is on your team, I think you can win every game. Travion Henderson. He's at the 30, the 20, the 10. Touchdown! They can run it. They can spin it. They can kick it. This Buckeyes team is playing football at a level nobody else in the country is playing right now. Now there's a low snap. Goes left, throws back to the right. Jeremiah Smith's on the field. So that's another first down. Thus far, this game has been absolutely shite. Step it. Oh my God. That is so beautiful. You got Matt Hardy on the left there. AJ, chance.
I see it at the 47. Unfortunately, my youngest son puked all over himself, went to the hospital, so my whole family's not here anymore to hear that. But I'm getting some updates every once in a while. He seems to be doing not much better. He puked over the whole section. Jeez. Instant urgent care, instant hospital.
Oh, no.
What type of shite was he eating? Is someone making salmon down here? We came down here and smelled like fish.
Look at this. For those that have never been here, I would recommend coming and checking it out. Although this particular game was absolute shite. Woo!
Why? Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink.
Damn it! Your friend tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this Aaron Rodgers Thursday, January 16, 2025, hour 3 of the program starts now. Football is wonderful. That's AJ Hawk. The Talks the Tables here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer,
Dahn.
Cowboys AP Tone is here. Are you worried about your AP votes officially being released to the public and the decisions that you made, the careers that you potentially altered, pal?
No, I did the work. I did my due diligence. I feel really good about everything.
I like that.
Hell yeah. Nice. Stand by it.
That does.
Strong.
SOB.
SOB.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to the other half of the Hammer. Dahn. Cowboys, Bubba Gumpino. Gumpy, how you feeling, pal?
All is well. Great day to be alive.
National championship on Monday, divisional round over the next couple of days. This is a great time to be a football fan, pal.
Juiced up.
How about the Dolphins?
We stink. It is what it is. It's next year is, I said it this year, but next year is officially make or break. If you don't make the playoffs, you don't win a playoff game, Mike McDaniel will be gone. Tua possibly gone. It'll be a start all over again.
There's a chance that that's the same thing with the Colts. There's a chance.
Legitimate.
We're not 100% sure, but there's a chance that it is a make or break year. And you would think that that would have happened already a few different times, but now it feels like we are definitely in one of those. A man who used to be the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts, 36 years in the football coaching world, 18 in college, 18 in the NFL. Chuck McGaw is here.
Baby Chuck.
Chuck, the coaching cycle is obviously, is it one of high anxiety for people, or is this great opportunity, you think, if you're a coach sitting around the NFL right now?
As far as, like, if you're one of the guys that's potentially got one of these jobs, or you're out of work and you're trying to get a...
So Dan Orlovsky right there said that somebody who's potentially putting together a staff
Yes.
has potentially reached out to him, see if he would like to be a part of it or whatever. And they're going to talk today and more. How many different people at the quarterback position is a head coach potentially sending texts to find out how many quarterback coaches they have? They're just trying to get a sense and a feel if, hey, if I was to get a job, would you come with me? What is the likelihood of that?
Part of the selling point when you go in to interview for these jobs is one of the biggest factors is, like, who's going to be your OC, who's going to be your DC. If you're not necessarily a head coach that's going to call one side of it, you're a defensive guy or an offensive guy. So you're going to have a list that you've put together, and you've had a list of names and people that you've worked with, some that you haven't, but you've vetted a ton of people, and you need to go in there with probably 3 or 4 names at each spot, because you're obviously, like, you got A, you got B, you got C, you got D. And that's coordinator spots, special teams, assistants, every spot on defense, every position, spot on offense. So, because you're going to have to go in and sell yourself. You're going to have to go in and sell your vision, your identity, what your culture is going to look like, all that kind of stuff. But then, okay, who's the staff? Who's going to be, if you're a defensive guy, you're going into Chicago, the main thing that Warren and Poles and those guys are going to want to know is, like, okay, who's the OC? Who's the quarterback coach, and who's going to get this dude, okay, to where we need him to be.
You would hope that's what they're looking for. We don't know if that's the case. It is the Chicago Bears.
True.
No offense to Chicago Bears, but I think Chicago Bears fans understand that is a very reasonable question to ask at this standpoint. At Viva Lazito, is that accurate?
Very accurate, yes.
Yeah, we would hope that was potentially be what they're looking at, but they might get wowed by something else.
You never know.
You never know with Chicago.
They're asking around. I mean, they wanted to interview Marcus Freeman.
They did.
They want to do all this cool, zany stuff. I saw they did David Shaw the other day.
Oh, really? I like David Shaw. Obviously had a great run up there at Stanford, I believe. And then, Marcus Freeman near Chicago.
Yeah.
A lot of Irish in Chicago.
Right.
Potentially locational type thing, but also maybe Marcus Freeman's agent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is also weird.
That'd be smart.
Marcus Freeman just signed a 4-year extendo.
Yeah.
Big ol'.
This year.
Not sure if you guys heard about Big Mike last night. Ate about 72 ounces of steak after his interview with the Bears.
Okay, by himself or?
It was family style, but he took the whole steak down himself.
Dictas?
Okay, it was family style. Who was all there?
All Bears brass.
Okay, so after the interview, let's go get a steak. And Big Mike says, sounds good to me.
Steak, yeah.
And he walks over there and he cleans out the family style, the spread out.
He cleaned it out, yeah.
They had it chopped up on a plate in front of everybody. Hey, let's go ahead and pass that around.
That's mine.
He made it. That's all. Bear.
Dahn.
Yeah, that's how we're doing it around here. You want a guy who wants to eat steak, right? That's what we're looking for.
He impressed the brass by that, yes.
Yeah, the brass were impressed by the steak eating.
Yes.
Man, this guy's a real carnivore, man.
Hire him. Maybe that's why they've stuck for so long. Hey, this guy can eat a bunch of fucking steak.
You think Caleb was impressed? Because to me, that's the guy that's calling the shots right now on what he wants.
You think Caleb Williams is calling the shots at Chicago Bears?
Well, you saw the podcast he was on, right? The St. Brown Brothers podcast, where he's talking about this, that, and the other, what he's looking for.
No, I heard
he's laying in bed with his head up against the pillow on the backboard.
Chuck, you didn't like his posture, Chuck?
He's laying down in
He's
in there.
Not very QB1 like.
Can we pull that clip up, please? I've not seen that. Can we pull that? I've not seen this clip.
He's laid out like, pillows, like he just got out of damn bed, like he's still in bed. It's 3 in the afternoon.
He just got done working out. He's in between 2 days, 3 days maybe. He's getting better.
You don't know what time they filmed it.
Yeah, he also doesn't know what time it is because all he is in between first workout and third workout. That's all he knows.
They asked him, what do you want? What are you looking for in the next head coach?
And he gave an answer.
He basically said
gave a big answer.
He said Ben Johnson, essentially.
So this is kind of the thing because I remember in Hard Knocks, he was telling Rome Odunze how he wanted the routes run. And Keenan Allen, I need you to do this. And I'm like, that's how an NFL quarterback's supposed to act. Yes. I feel like it's a little early for that. Do you even know do you even know where you want this person? How do you know that's where you want this person? you don't even know the offense yet. So I thought, wow, this guy's massively confident. This guy knows what he wants.
Or dumb.
This guy's, which
Charlie
could be the case. We don't know yet. But I think there's a lot of him like studying how others act. You know, how like other quarterbacks act. On his phone, I think he has his goals is to chase Tom Brady.
Yeah.
So he watches how Tom Brady maybe acted at the end of his career, or Aaron Rodgers acted at the end of his career, or these guys that he has matched Peyton Manning at the end of his career, as opposed to like what it is to get to that point. I personally, that's what I felt like I was watching whenever I was seeing the way he was acting off the field. And then I thought, well, maybe this guy's more professional than anybody else has ever been because he's the highest paid NIL guy of all time. Remember, he was starting a fund.
Yeah.
He was starting an investment fund.
Yep.
And he was telling, like, all these things I was watching. I'm like, this guy's acting like he's in his 18th year in the league already. That's
He
good.
wanted part ownership.
Alleged
of the
that.
team.
We don't know if he said that. That came from the family allegedly, but there's sources within the whole thing. But then you see how the season goes, and then you hear how things are being said and how it all unravels. It's like, I think he potentially got a nice little wake-up call potentially to what the NFL is, what the NFL football style is, what professional football is as he goes forward. Then you tell me that he gives us answer on what he wants for the head coach. I guess it's 3 minutes and 41 seconds, so we're definitely not running that. But the fact that he gave a 221-second answer on what he wants as a head coach, this guy's decisive.
He knows.
He's decisive. Yes. He knows what he's looking for. I think a lot of people would say, you don't fucking know shit. Okay, you don't know.
Yes.
You don't know shit. I think a lot of people would say football people would say, hey, you don't know shit. So like,
well,
counter that is,
consulting him?
The Bears know. That's the counterpoint. I don't know. I don't know.
In the clip though too, he also says he would like an offensive mind. He would want a young guy. He would want someone that could stick with him for like 10, 15 years. He never really says Ben, but obviously like with Amon-Ra there, he's like cues at it. But through the whole thing, like he says selfishly, I would want this, but the team probably wants something else.
Got it. Okay.
And he ended it with, okay, so he goes, Ben Johnson? Yeah, if that happens, yeah. But then if it's not, well, it is what it is.
Yeah, that is what he said.
Chuck,
that's how he finished it.
Chuck, you're so mad about this.
Chuck hated it.
It sounds like you were not very thrilled about this particular interview.
No, this is the face of the franchise. Yeah. You're that dude, so you have to understand the responsibility that comes with that, and it's not the response is just not going on the St. Brown Brother pod.
It's good. It's a good show.
It's a good show. I appreciate that.
I love those two dudes. I was on it one time earlier this year.
Whoa!
So must have done a hell of a job because it was one and done.
Yeah, well,
and I love the St. Brown.
There's
brothers.
a lot of podcasts that are like that. That just once you're a guest, you kind of move on.
You were on it.
Chuck Pagano episode there with the Amon-Ra St. Brown brothers. Excited to listen. What's the other?
It was just they just had me on a little deal, a bet deal, like give them prop bets.
Their dad.
Their dad is
bodybuilder.
Yeah,
those guys.
Those
guys are doing squats like at an age like you're not supposed to.
Isn't their mom an Olympian too?
Hard worker. Yeah, I like the traits that you're looking for.
Got him.
Feels like they got him. Does Caleb? We shall see.
He also, Caleb did get duped by the fake Ben Johnson texting him saying like, hey, just gonna let you know, I'm gonna take the job, and Caleb fell for it, hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, there's a FaceTime.
No way.
Even.
See what
they talked about it.
Karma's real. Just shut up and work.
Well, is the Bears
36 years as a football coach, Chuck Pagano, standing at an age of
what?
You tell me. How old are you?
64.
Okay. Shut up and work is his take on the entire situation. I think there's probably a lot of people.
I'm all for guys having a platform.
Agreed.
And using it. But when it becomes a distraction to the head coach and every part of the organization and front office, whoever. Virginia McCaskey, she's 102 years old. She don't need to hear that.
Can she?
Oh, yeah.
Not
She's
hearing
hearing
that.
it for sure.
She was dialed into this one.
She's not hearing that.
Yes, she is.
You've been in there. Is it as big
I
as
have
a
been.
dumpster fire as it seems? Because it has for quite some time felt like an absolute shit show.
Get the right leader in there, and you got yourself something. It's one of the most. I mean, they started playing ball there. It was frickin' Curly Lambeau and George Howard.
Just completely irrelevant to what I'm asking. Is it a complete shit show in there right now, and when you were there, or no?
No.
Just not good at football?
You got to make like good decisions at certain, Yeah.
Every day.
I mean,
is there organizational alignment, as we have said the last few times regarding team?
They have a president, I think, in Warren. They have a general manager in Poles. They're looking for a head coach. So when you look at ownership and you look at president, and you look at, general manager, those things, you've got the pillars in place. Now, the right pillars, we're going to find out.
Okay.
So, no.
Kevin Warren's an interesting cat. I assume he's had to do something to get the gigs that he gets.
Yeah, the feng shui. He's a master.
That was amazing on Hard Knocks. I did appreciate listening to the former Big Ten commissioner lay out how suites should have because he watched Bar Rescue with John Taffer.
Correct.
A couple times.
Yes.
Which would be a good.
Not a bad.
I mean, he is
Not
the
a bad
guy.
teacher.
Not a bad.
Tapper's the guy to let you know.
Yeah.
So
Need to open this up. You got a funnel in here. Bad energy, bad vibes. Hey, that show, Bar Rescue, got me through a couple training camps.
Yep.
That and Pawn Stars, just binging right through them.
What a run.
What a run both those shows had. What a run.
You still watching Squid Game?
It's been tough. It's been tough for me to get going on.
That's
Is that season 2?
Yeah.
I never finished. I watched a couple episodes of the first one.
So the issue I'm having is I watched the reality show game of Squid Games.
Is that Mr. Beast?
No.
No, that's a whole nother one. Netflix did one. They did like a game show, Squid Games. Lady ended up winning a rock, paper, scissors, you remember?
Awesome.
The guy that she was playing against was like, I was just throwing random, and she was...
Yeah, she was like a CIA analyst.
Yeah,
or
she was
something.
actually like beating him, gets the key. She was. So I'm struggling with remembering what last season was versus what Mai's run was in Squid Games. And then also you put on top of it that it's clearly dubbed. It's been hard for me to get into season 2. I'm going to say it's been hard for me to get into season 2.
I can't do the dubs. To your point, I have to just watch and read.
Really? So you're reading the whole season?
Oh, yeah, because I can't do the dubs.
You're reading the whole season?
Yeah, I did for the first season. I haven't started the second yet, but I'll do that again.
I've done it
What
for a couple
language is it?
shows.
How do you know?
Korean.
What do you mean?
How do you know what
The dub kind of stinks, so I might have to switch to the.
The dubbed is terrible in all of those shows.
It definitely changes.
Is the first one dubbed?
Yeah.
Wow. I can't read a whole season. No way.
I guess I haven't seen any of it then.
If you do it that way, though, like you can't watch it like if you're at all tired or like you're in bed or like about to, like you can't watch it because you'll miss so much shit. Like you actually have to be locked in and like commit. Like, okay, I'm gonna watch this episode right now.
So the issue is the dub acting has to be good, and then the acting has to be good.
Correct.
So now we got a couple different people that need to figure it out while I'm watching. And there's been a few deliveries of some lines, I assume, and some key moments where I'm like, I can't take this.
Sucks.
I will say the dub this year is a lot better because they obviously did it for the American watchers compared to like season 1 when it was just made for Korean.
It's kind of redundant, but I watch it dubbed with the subtitles on.
Definitely.
So I'm reading it and I'm
definitely.
hearing the dub, and I'm not focusing on the mouth mismatching the dub. And I normally don't do that with shows, but I've been able to do it with this one, and it's helped.
I have captions on everything, just in case, just to catch like what's
I
potentially
like
happening.
that. I like having captions too.
But I have to hear though. I wouldn't be able to do the Korean and then English there. I would not be able to.
It's awesome. Granted, I've done this for now Shogun because Shogun's.
Yeah, but you're like a reader, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
And
hate
you are a
reading.
reader as well.
Shogun was all dubbed.
So you guys are much better readers than I am. I think I can't keep up with everything.
Makes you a better reader. I think having the closed caption in there makes you a better reader. It forces you to at least do it and look at it.
Internet videos need the
No doubt.
need the
big time.
Yeah, you might as well not put a video on the internet without them. I mean, we do everyday live clipping, but any video that we make that isn't live, it's like has to have the caption on it because there's people that can't have sound where they are and just kind of want to read it, see what the hell happened.
I haven't had sound on for years.
And if I accidentally do, startling.
Yeah.
I'll fucking, whoa, jeez.
Yeah.
That little with the brightness in the
Yeah.
that's a good.
Huge.
That was a good development.
Yeah.
Having to hold that thing down before.
Yeah, one of their best ones.
I have the new phone. I haven't opened the box. I'm worried to do the whole transition.
Oh God, that can be a nightmare.
So especially when you're 100 years old.
Yeah.
I'm talking about you, not me.
Yeah, no, but that's why you have kids, and someday you're going to be sitting in my seat, my shoes, and Mackenzie's going to be the one walking you through everything.
No, because we grew up in the technology.
Yeah, but there's going to be something new.
Yeah.
The kids are ahead of it.
Okay.
The kids are ahead.
Way ahead.
You think we had our tech boom for our generation?
I
or
mean,
our life?
yeah, just like thinking
For
about like,
ours?
the booms.
You'll never be on par with your kids, though. Your kids will always be ahead, technology-wise.
My daughter, 21 months, she knows how to open the thing, put the code in, find out. I mean, she's not even 2 years old yet, and she knows exactly where. And if she can't figure it out, she's grabbing my hand and moving it to the place where, hey, need to scroll this thing. She doesn't have the ability to scroll. It is wild watching her pick it up like that. And there's a lot of, I've seen a lot of people on the internet say, well, she has too much screen time. She already knows that whole thing. It's like, I created a business off my phone, so I'm very okay with my daughter.
It's a big high horse situation. You know that.
Yeah, but also to your high horse, I will grandstand back if we're going to do this. My daughter understanding how to navigate social media and the internet and tech is a massive advantage in the world that we are in right now. So acting like it's a negative, which I can see how it would be, but I think the negative would be if she isn't proficient at this type of shit. So that's a tough little game that is
You got to make it a positive. You got to let's make this is the world you're growing up in. How do we make it a positive for you and
can't be all day.
The negative.
Can't
of
be
course
all
not.
day.
But like if your kids can sit there and edit videos at 10 years old on an iPad, that's pretty impressive. I've had them do that for I sent my kids like a bunch of like pictures and videos and said, hey, can you make something for mom's birthday? Boom. Like my 12-year-old, 11-year-old sitting there and can put something together that's 2 minutes long and has cool music.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like there will be things, I think, for sure, but I think the grand
huge change.
I mean, I just think of how far,
I don't know.
like how far cell phones have come since my first cell phone, your first cell phone, your first, it's night and fucking day. You couldn't even really get on the internet. I mean,
what's the next step? The chips?
Probably, but I don't think
we probably don't know the next.
I don't think that's going to happen during
AI.
Everybody's kind of embracing AI at the moment. I heard some musicians. I think it was Timbaland, maybe producer Timbaland, was like, I think it was him. Might have been another DJ producer that basically said like, "Hey, these young up and coming you better learn how to utilize AI as your tag team partner."
Mm-hmm.
And then I think like graphic designers are saying the same thing. Like obviously AI has capability to do things quicker than you would ever be able to do it, but they miss out on there's a human element that can be added to the AI. So it's almost like the tag team partner of AI is going to be the future, it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
And then inevitably what, Nick?
You know what's going to happen. AI is going to do whatever it wants. It's going to get sick of listening to it. It's going to get sick of the old tag team. It's going to Shawn Michaels, Marty Jannetty super kick through the glass, and we're done for.
It's not going to Seth Rollins' chair to Roman Reigns break up the Shield.
Oh, yeah.
There's a chance. We don't need you. You need us.
Become sentient.
And we're going to say, oh, mama, I'm in fear for my life from the long arm of the law.
The fuck was
Somebody
that?
just tried to hit the... Is that what that was? What was it?
Sounded like it.
I know, but I can hear Chuck's deaf things in my ear going off.
I can as well.
Oh, yeah, I hear a little chirp.
Something. Okay, good. Yeah, something was up.
You touch your shit during the break? Your ear
No.
things?
Oh, you have them over there?
Why are they here?
I turned them off.
Nope.
They're never
They did
checked.
not. Those are supposed to be
always
over
listening.
there.
All-time
This is the end of the
goofball.
season. We're 3
All-time
weeks away from the
goofball.
Super Bowl. We're ending the season just like we started it. Did we not learn our lessons? This is something I
I
said.
turned them off.
It doesn't work.
AI turned them on because you started talking about AI. You're
They're
talking about
controlling
China
stuff.
yesterday, talking about TikTok, and they knew I had that shit up here because they're tracking my ass.
Bingo.
And all of a sudden, to get me in trouble on this show,
Could be China.
get you guys fired up, they turn these some bitches on.
Before we go too far down this road, did Bill just murder someone?
I don't know. What was that? Was that Mitt doing?
Could have been. Mitt might be fucking lifting in there.
He could be lifting, or he could be trying to do the part in that song where it's.
That wasn't right.
What?
Are they off now? Can you still hear them?
Actually, no.
You want to know what wasn't
They're
right?
off now.
Me. I apologize.
In that situation.
But that was AI.
Okay. Got any more shout-outs?
Oh, really?
Miss Terry, actually. And Miss Terry's birthday was yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Happy birthday, Miss Terry.
Happy birthday.
Missed it. That's
Now
all.
say something, Gump. Yeah, right.
That's a shout out. That's not condolences.
No, every
You
time I do a
understand
shout,
what
no,
it is?
you ain't gonna go after.
You
Saban.
understand what shout out means?
You know your place.
All year. All year. We're fucking divisional playoff round. Didn't learn a damn thing all year, coach. Same as week 1. That's why the Bears are shite.
Oh, no.
Why'd you go after them?
Well,
Because you
were
just
there.
told us they were going to be good. They're obviously not.
Yeah, you're wrong.
They got no hope.
On that note, Let's pick some games.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You got confidence at an all-time high now after that whole
On that note,
burial of Gumpy?
I apologize.
Bill, what happened?
I love Gump.
What was that sound? Bill, you turn the corner, fix your hat, do the whole song and dance.
Toss someone into a vat of battery acid
Look
somewhere.
how jacked Bill is getting. You can't see him behind Jabba.
Loves hiding behind Jabba.
But he is getting absolutely jacked. Jabba's doing a little 1-2 step. Love that.
I get a contract as a 3-tech, Bill.
I don't like that Bill posted on the internet.
Jacked.
The worst thing you could do is get a hobby in a Thunderdome.
He's not wrong.
Oh, first thing I said to him was, "Oh yeah, man, you can't do that." No, what do you?
But it's not a hobby; it's a lifestyle. He's committing to it completely.
Yeah.
I'm proud of Bill.
You just can't tell anyone in here that you have a hobby.
Yeah, you just
It's not a hobby, though. That's what I'm saying. He's committing his entire life.
Or
to this.
lifestyle.
He's changed his whole life. We will know, though. If he
Body's
changed
his
his
temple, obviously.
What's that?
Body's his temple.
Hasn't always been like that, though. Now he is
locked in.
He's trying.
what made him turn? What made him switch?
I think he got beat up by like 10 guys.
Oh.
That's what happened, right, Bill? Yeah. Bill got beat up by like 10 guys, and then he said never again.
Miles Teller style.
Never again. Yeah, downtown Indianapolis got jumped. And he said, I'm not going to let that ever happen again. So now he's in the weight room every day.
Always has a side piece on him, so try him.
And that's why we wonder what that sound was. That's 15-yard penalty right there.
Yeah.
Illegal use of handgun. Chuck Pagano, 15 yards to keep it moving.
Can we do that?
There it is. You can do old school. I think you can even do like a
you can stab someone.
Yeah, like a sword or a spear.
Oh yeah, sure.
I think you can maybe. Can you light a cannon?
Can you unsheath the sword?
Definitely.
Like, can you? Because that kind of.
Yeah. And then you like have a little duel.
Okay.
And then somebody even.
Yeah, someone's got to lean in.
Yeah. Please.
Yeah. You should
Please
be able
do
to
that.
So New England has to get rid of the
muskets.
Muskets, yeah.
No, it doesn't count. Once again, because New England invented America, so they're like, you know what? Let's let them keep.
How about the muzzle loaders up there? Always working.
Always.
Those are not a high percentage operation, especially with how quickly everybody has to turn it around.
They're locked in. They're still in the militia.
It's a great celebration.
They're still in it. I assume those gentlemen participate in the reenactment of.
You're talking about the Minutemen?
Yes, bingo.
Missy Elliott banger right there.
Yeah.
She didn't win no 1 minute man, but we needed them in the Revolutionary War, didn't we?
And they came through, didn't they?
Let's make some picks. Chuck Pagano's going to come through for us. Divisional weekend, Chuck. AJ and I will not be doing the picks. You will be the only one here. We will make our picks tomorrow officially as we learn more. And this is on Thursday before we know Zay Flowers, for instance. He is not at practice again today.
Yep.
That is a big deal. We'll know more tomorrow, especially rolling into the weekend. Let's start with the Texans and the Chiefs. Chiefs favored by 8 at home. J.J. Watt went on a diatribe, a monologue about how the Texans not only have C.J. Stroud in offense with Nico Collins back, but also a defense that's championship caliber. He was Derek Stingley, Lasser on the other side, Daniil Hunter, the boys up front, the linebackers, Azeez Al-Shaair is back. They got a defense that can win the Super Bowl. Well, they have a team that beats the Chiefs in Kansas City. Chuck, how do you see the game going? What are your thoughts?
I think they keep it close. I think they do. I think, you got Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson. They got 23 sacks between them. This rookie Bullock, the safety, he's got 5 picks along with Stingley's 5, so 10 between those two guys. They're humming, and we saw Azeez when he got back in there. Now he's a little bit. Is he healthy? Is
he
he
had a
back
groin
from that
thing?
groin deal? He
groin
went
thing?
out of that game.
I don't know.
But you could feel him early in that game. They played earlier this season. That was a 1-score game. They lost by 8 in that ball game. It was like a 4 or 5 point game, and then Kansas City ran the ball, took the air out of the game. But they were right there. The only difference in that game, if you look at the rush yards, the pass yards, all those kind of things, it's pretty even, other than the most, the one thing that we always look to, turnovers, decide a lot of these games other than score. They turn it over twice, in that ball game. C.J. Stroud did. So
who do you like? You like the Texans?
I'm going to take Texans in the points.
Okay. Age, how do you feel about Chuck's pick there?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly where I'm leaning yet, but yeah, Chiefs -8 feels like a lot, but what if the Chiefs just become the Chiefs that we're used to?
Yeah,
just pour it on them.
Yeah, agreed. And I think that's what the sports books are potentially saying. Even though they didn't score a point with Carson Wentz, a quarterback, final game of the season, they got blown out 35-0 or whatever the case was.
Yeah, irrelevant side of the day is the Chiefs are 0-2 this year. at 4 o'clock games.
Okay.
Hey, they haven't played since December 25th either. They're starters.
Yeah, they took 2 weeks off.
So what's first half, especially after what the Texans have done the last 2 weeks. They've played a lot better. They were in a little bit of a schneid last 2 weeks. Titans, and obviously last week in the playoffs, they go on a little bit of an up.
Tank Dell had a big game for him in the regular season. He's obviously no longer there. He caught a touchdown pass.
That was
you remember
that's
in
where he
the
broke
back of the end. That's where he got
CJ
blown
Stroud
up.
attended his funeral that day.
CJ
Stroud's bummed out.
They're best friends.
So it's got to be Nico, and I think Woods has a big day.
Okay, so Texans +8 is where Chuck is on the first game. Let's go to Saturday at 8 o'clock, 9-point spread. Saturday 4:30, Saturday at 8. Both huge divisional round spreads. And obviously Sunday 6 is still big. What are your thoughts on Commanders-Lions, Chuck Pagano?
Again, I'm going dog here. I'm going to take the points. I think the Lions win, but I'm going to take the Commanders. Detroit has struggled against mobile quarterbacks. You look at Anthony Richardson. He had over 6 yards, per carry. He played pretty good against these guys. They didn't score any. They scored 6 points in that game. But I just think they haven't seen Daniels. He's an athletic quarterback. They played Buffalo early in this year, and Josh had his way as well, running around on this defense. So. But the one thing is, you get Montgomery back for the Lions. Again, I think they'll win the game, but I don't think they'll cover. That's too many points. But you got the number 6 rush offense in Detroit going against Washington, who was number 30th in rush defense.
Oh, no, so 9's no problem.
Yeah,
no problem.
At Ford Field?
Remember, other teams can score on the Lions. It doesn't matter. That's like their thing.
Yeah.
You guys are allowed to score.
Just can't keep up.
They're just dangerous. It's just all the pressure's on Detroit. There's no pressure on Washington. They've already exceeded all expectations by a million. So they're playing with house money. They're going to go in there loose. Quinn's loose anyway, so they're just going to play. And so that's dangerous.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so 8
Especially
and
when
9.
you got a weapon at quarterback.
8 and 9, too big for Chuck to pass up. He'll take the Dogs on Saturday. Let's go to Sunday. Rams, Eagles, cross country, short week. We talked to Puka yesterday. He seems to have great vibes. When is that ever not the case with Oos over there, who's unbelievable? 6-point favorites at home are the Big Dom-led Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, Lane Johnson, an offensive line that's unbelievable. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Goddard's throwing bodies around at the tight end position. A defense that is obviously great at all three levels, taking on Matthew Stafford in the Los Angeles Rams. A young defense that has come together late. Matthew Stafford obviously able to spin it. They got weapons. They got McVay's brain. How do you see this one going, Chuck Pagano?
Kyron Williams running the rock. Now they gave up 255 yards, rushing to Saquon. First time they played in the regular season.
What week was that?
That was, let me tell you, that was week 12. They lost 20-37. But both those runs, he had 142 on 2 runs. So he had a 70-yard tutty and a 72-yard tud.
Start the second half.
Barkley.
First running back to have 2 70-plus yard touchdowns and whatever. I forget what the stat was. I'm remembering now from Embo.
So Hurts was efficient. A.J. Brown had a good day, 6 for 109 in that game. But totally different Rams team. Totally different Rams team. You got Stafford, who's in a game like this, I ain't betting against him. Again, I think Philly wins this game just because, they got the number 1 ranked defense. They're playing really good on that side of the ball. But if anybody can go spin that thing around, Puka, Cooper Kupp, Kyron Williams, and that defense right now, what Chris Shula's doing with that defense, I know Deep Butts talked about it yesterday. You guys watched it. 9 sacks. And they were all, maybe only one was 5-man, like all four man. All 4-man. A lot of games. Fisk, that curse is an animal. Young on that side. They're going to put number 24 Williams. He'll shadow A.J. Brown in this game. They don't do that on Philly. They just play left and right. Quinyon plays the right side. Slay plays the left, but they're going to match up on the other side. I like Stafford. I like the Rams going in here.
All of the Dogs thus far, 8-point spread, 9-point spread, 6-point spread. Chuck says this is going to be much closer games than the books seemingly think. Divisional weekend, these are the best 8 teams in the league.
Need it.
We're going to have great games. We're not going to have blowouts. It's going to be 1-score games. That's why you have picked the way that you've picked. Now let's go to the big one, the headliner, the marquee. MVP versus MVP runner-up. 2 seasons that are going to be historic one way or another. Ravens, with the addition of Derrick Henry, have gone back to their power football explosive ways, but Lamar Jackson's thrown it better than he ever has. The Buffalo Bills coming in the season, they lost basically 90% of the players that we know on their roster. Josh Allen's going to get a chance to take a team on his back. How far can he go with it? Well, home game, divisional round, Buffalo Bills. Who do you like? How do you like it? 1-point spread, Ravens are favored going into Buffalo. Weather update, please, in what the game is going to be.
It is going to be 12 degrees, I believe, at kick. Feels like -3 with some snow.
Cold as hell. It's going to be a Buffalo game here in the divisional round. Chuck Pagano.
Just how they like it.
The Buffalo Bills?
No, the Ravens.
Oh.
Yeah, the one favorite I'm going to go with is them. I just think Lamar, Derrick Henry. Derrick had 199 yards against him in that 35-10. The first time he touched the ball, he went 87. 87.
35-10.
Yeah. And you know that Buffalo loves to play nickel, right, AJ? They love to play nickel. Taron Johnson is that nickelback number 7. He got knocked out of the game last week, came back and played. He'll be in there. But they play small ball, and they don't care what you line up in. You can be in 22, you can be in 12, you can be whatever. They're going to put that group on the field and live with that group. So I just think Lamar, Derrick Henry, Zay, whether he plays or not, you got Mark Andrews, you got Bateman, you got Aguilar, you got Isaiah Likely, and Lamar's not going to be denied. Josh Allen, same thing. They both deserve MVP. I don't care who gets it out of either one of them.
Congrats to both.
They're both more than. I wish they'd just split it between them.
But then they both get cooked for that, even though it wouldn't be their decision.
No question. That's because that's what we do.
The world
that's
is,
what we love to do.
You talked about Buffalo Bills playing small ball on defensive side. You said they don't care if it's 22 or 12. Just for people that don't know, 22 is 2 running backs, 2 tight ends. And the 2 running backs would be Derrick Henry and Patrick Ricard, both over 240, one of them being 280 pounds. And then Mark Andrews and Likely would be the 2 tight ends. And then Lamar Jackson, the fastest person on the field, would be the quarterback with the ball in between all of that. So there's a lot of meat, and then there's a lot of explosion.
And it could be 22X.
So
you put another big lineman in there. So you got another 320 pounder at the point, and then Mark Andrews. So if you don't want Andrews and Likely out there, you just put 22X. You get even bigger.
And the Ravens will do that.
Yep.
And they will do that.
And the defense?
They played good.
Since the bye, last 5 weeks, like 11 points a game, 250 total yards a game, and like third down, they're 31%. If you're at 31%, you're number 1 in the league right now, getting off the field.
Chuck Pagano doesn't care about home field advantage in the division round. Took every away team on the weekend. Okay, let's now go to the national championship on Monday night. Obviously, we will have a show on Monday live from Atlanta, the home of the national championship. Then there'll be a college game day, and then the game will be taking place at 7:30 p.m. We will be doing a field pass on ESPN2 if you'd like to join us for some stupidity, or you go to ESPN and I assume ABC for Chris Fowler, Herb Street, and a real broadcast. Mm-hmm. Our dumbasses will be on ESPN2. We're lucky to do that. We can't wait to get down there. Ohio State, Notre Dame. Ohio State favored by 8 in the national championship. We have seen blowouts in the national championship before. Recent history has showcased that, and there has been obviously incredible games that have lived up to the title of the best in the country. Will Howard, Riley Leonard, similar stories. Jack Sawyer's got a lot to play for. Obviously, Captain Jack Sawyer, the Ohio kid, loses to Michigan, gets into a fight with the people that are planting the flag, says, "Not on my watch." And what has he done? Oh, come back to lead the team, basically to a natty. He obviously wants it, but so does Xavier Watson, the entire Notre Dame team. Marcus Freeman, 39 years old, young upstart with a big brain, has been able to rally a team that hasn't been able to have that much success in the postseason in a long time. Changes the roster, makes some magic happen, and Ryan Day, who has the weight of the entire world of Ohio on his shoulders at all times because how things have gone. That's the job as the Buckeyes head coach, just like it's a job as a Notre Dame head coach. The way he's gotten his team to rally since the most devastating loss they've seen in some time is nothing short of miraculous. 8-point favorites in Atlanta for the Natty. Chuck Pagano, who do you like? How do you like it?
I like A.J. Hawk's Buckeyes.
Whoa, quick pick.
I just think that best thing that ever happened to him, and I hate it for him because of how the people are and the fans and all that, but getting beat by Michigan, obvious wake-up call, what they did to Tennessee, and then what they did to Texas, right? Or did I miss one in there?
Oregon.
They've had to win
Oregon.
Go
Rose
to
Bowl was
Oregon
the
and
biggest.
boat race them.
Yeah.
Like that was 31-0 before they could blink, right, or something like that.
Yeah. Played bad against Texas, I think.
Yeah.
From watching. AJ, isn't it weird that it feels like we have, doing these field passes, and we missed one of Notre Dame's games, so I think.
Yeah, we
Georgia.
We weren't at Georgia.
Yeah, we weren't in Notre Dame, Georgia, whenever that took place. That was a massive one down there at Sugar Bowl, so we weren't there for that particular game. We've been on the field for every Ohio State game, and it's like, I don't want to say it feels like we're embedded with it, but embedded means like on the inside. But we have seen everything they have done over the last 3 weeks. Sideline altercations, pregame warm-ups, vibes in warm-ups, how they come out of the tunnel in the second half, plays that are being made in the biggest stage. It's like watching them play against Texas is like, oh, this is nowhere near Ohio State's best effort. Like, this is nowhere near. 2-score win.
Yeah,
over Texas. And it's like they're not going to make those same mistakes again, or are they? Like, is who they played against Tennessee and Oregon not who they actually are? This is who they are. That's the big question. Because I'm not 100% sure he can make those mistakes against his Notre Dame team. His Notre Dame team, I think, will drag you down there. Mm-hmm. I think they will.
Deep water.
They will take you into the deep water. I think that's how they play. I think they like playing like that. I think they're proud of the fact that they play like that. So it's like, Ohio State get back to playing massively efficient football like they have been. I mean, that's the question of the game. I think they can with all the talent that they have.
For sure.
But I think that is
They're
really.
so athletic. They are so talented. I mean, that runner, 32.
Travion Henderson.
Like, when they decided to blitz that first play in that 2-minute drill.
Screen.
Yeah. And they threw that screen right behind it. I've been on the end of one of those. Oh, my God.
Hopeless.
And you know who it was? Chris Johnson. Remember how fast that cat was?
Yeah, 4.2 something.
Yeah, I was at East Carolina. Yeah. No, at North Carolina, and we were playing at East Carolina. He was the running back for.
Yeah, you said nickel hot.
And hey, let's run Volcano. Okay, good idea. Let's throw a screen right behind it. 80. Just
Was
like
that early in the game?
It looked just like this.
Was that early in the game?
First series.
Yeah, so that kind of sets the tone, too, on what he's about to do. Chris Johnson, Y2J, whenever he started rolling, it was like he took the top off early. Travion Henderson, obviously, at the beginning of that game, gets a 15-yard penalty, almost gets benched because he cost his team. Nick Saban came over and was like, hey, this whole game changed when Travion Henderson decided to smack that guy in the face and set him back behind the sticks, and then they haven't been able to do anything since. And it was like literally the next play. Travion Henderson was in, and he was able to get back and make right at the exact time. It's like, that team's humming. So is Notre Dame, though. So is Notre Dame.
Hell yeah.
Their fans are telling me.
They're fun to watch.
Fun. They're a gritty team.
Riley Leonard's a better passer than people give him credit for, too.
Agreed.
He really is.
I think he's gotten better, certainly. Like, I think people judge him like maybe last year when he was at Duke or beginning of the season, how he's doing, and yada, yada. It's like he's clearly been
climbing,
working, and like getting better at everything. And his leadership is remarkable. That team's big, too. That offensive line, they had to deal with backups at different places.
Yeah.
They had the depth to be able to handle it against Penn State. It's like, these
how much do you want to run? If you're the quarterback, like how many QB runs do you want to have when we've seen guys getting their heads taken off multiple times throughout the playoffs?
Riley, concussed.
Arch got in for one play. He got the first down, but man, he took a shot.
And a lot of people are wondering why he wasn't in on the first and goal from the one. It was like, I think from our perspective, we thought Arch potentially got dinged.
Yes.
Like
I assumed he was dinged, but that dude got up and he was all right.
He did get up and it never got announced. But like first and goal at the 1 yard line, with the way they had been handling that, a lot of people were wondering why is Arch not on the field? He's kind of the running quarterback. It's like, I think he got. I think that was yeah.
The ball came out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they ruled him down?
He was down, yeah.
Yeah.
Riley's been their leading rusher, carries-wise, in all 3 playoff games.
He's fun to watch, man.
Yeah.
Great athlete, good wiggle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Watch his basketball highlights from high school if you just want a milk check real quick.
Yeah.
Guy's unbelievable.
He's a baller.
We're lucky for it all.
Good kid, too.
Yeah, seems like it. Seems like everybody loves him. Same with Will Howard.
Yeah.
He's got clever captions
Does.
on his Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. They're got to be paying him a lot of money.
Yeah.
The money we're hearing being floated out right now. Allegedly, Quinn Ewers turned down $8 million.
Yeah, I don't believe that for a second.
Carson Beck allegedly getting $4 million to go to Miami, but then it was reported it's $3 million. And then it was reported, like, who knows what's real and what isn't these days.
Some incentives in there.
Thamel also told us, didn't he, 700 to 1 million?
Yeah.
Because, like, if Cam Ward got, 1.1 was the report? It's like you're telling me they
1.6.
1.6. So you're telling me they gave Quinn Ewers.
Yeah, but Cam was
year before,
kind
like
of unknown.
Yeah, Carson Beck's getting $4 million.
But we don't know if that's real.
That's
or
what I'm
not
saying.
either.
I don't believe it.
Like, if you got Will Howard and Quinn Ewers sitting there, who you taking?
Me?
Yeah.
I've made it pretty obvious who I'm taking.
Yeah, it's easy. And I'm now, yes.
After watching
and $8 million, no chance.
No chance.
I mean, there's some teams.
I would believe.
There's some teams, I think, the alumni,
for 4 years, for sure.
But not just a 1 year rental?
Yeah, for 1 year. Like,
all you need is one donor. That's all you need. That has a lot of money. That is like, this is what I want. I want this to happen.
We know there's some running backs out there getting over $1 million, so I wouldn't be surprised what any quarterback.
A lot of running backs getting over $1 million. In the Big Ten, mostly.
Mm-hmm. Beck don't care. It's his girlfriend's school.
Bingo.
They're already doing TikToks, I heard.
That's right.
He's worried about getting that elbow.
You see the first one? Come on.
What about it?
Shut up and play football.
Exactly.
That's what the 4-year-old
Ain't no
football coach.
Ain't no Ken Dorsey, I'll tell you that.
No, sir. That guy was a dog.
Dude's already a multimillionaire. So is his girl.
Yeah.
They can do whatever the hell they want. That's how they view it,
Mm-hmm.
I think. I don't know if Carson Beck still viewed as such an NFL guy. That's why going down there could be a good year for him to obviously have success. I guess Alabama and Georgia allegedly were looking to Georgia bring Carson back and then Alabama bring him over. That would have been a big signing for old Kalen DeBoer. Did he hire Grubb, offense coordinator, yet?
Should.
I wonder.
Not yet, I don't think.
All right.
That was supposed to happen, or already done.
Yeah, I wonder what happened. Did it happen?
I don't know that. But he's been let go in Seattle, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You want to do a giveaway for the people?
Oh, love to.
What are you going to do? Throw a football?
Oh, yeah.
Into that hoop right over there?
Into that one.
Are you going to make it first try?
Yep.
Probably got a pretty good shot.
I think, you were pretty dialed in.
Before show?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You were throwing some around?
I warmed up.
He threw a couple.
Spinning it a little bit?
Got the wing loose.
I doubt it.
It wasn't a laser shot like Coach Holtz talked Tone into taking.
Yeah, I mean, and then Coach Holtz said, you can't be that naive, kid. And then that's kind of what it was.
No, he just said hit the right quartile.
Yeah.
Upper quadrant.
Are you supposed to listen to your coaches?
It made me think of quartile.
Yeah, upper quadrant or the upper quartile.
Yes.
Who was that, Ursay or Chris?
Watch American Primeval, too, if you haven't yet.
Jim's in it, I heard.
Yeah. Great cameo.
Yeah, I saw his clip.
Did you see it?
Tough time to be in a show.
What?
Well, it looked like his audition tape.
Because Jerry, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, Jerry Jones had a...
Because with Jim, it's, hey, Jim was in, but did you see Jer?
In Landman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if
I think both guys crushed it.
Jerry might win an award. I've not seen the Jim one.
There's faces in it.
Certainly looked like Jim's kind of just sitting there shooting whiskey for about 3 seconds. He certainly wasn't delivering a 5-minute one-take monologue like Jared did.
How bad do you feel about Dot and Jerry?
I don't feel bad at all. I'm
What?
glad he can do it. I'm glad he can do it. That just makes me think, hey, next time you step up to the microphone, don't sound like you got a mouthful of dog shite and fucking say what you got to say.
Act like
that, Jerry. Act like an actor.
Why are we
Act like a
Why are
fucking
we like
owner.
surprised, like based on what he's done?
I was not.
Like that he could pull something like that off?
Did
like,
you see
Did you hear us?
Like the Huh?
Did you see him talking in that press conference right before that?
About Big Mike?
Did you?
Well, what did it sound like?
Well, you're just being a Mike. He kind of, had to do what he and listen. We might do some. I mean, he just gibberish, marbles in his mouth, and then you see that landman, and it's like, Jesus Christ, fucking Daniel Day-Lewis out here. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So it leads you to believe that maybe he didn't, but hey.
So to your point right there, like Landman, he knew the scene. He knew exactly what was required, what the expectations were, and had been in it, lived it, exactly, great point. Like, he's caught off guard with this. Like, that's why you don't have a plan.
Caught off guard?
No, he thought he was going to get Big Mike back, I guarantee you.
It was up to him.
And then wasn't able to get a deal done.
Wasn't able to get a deal done.
That's the. I think
that's my. Like, I'm not. I don't have sources. I don't have anything. I
That's
just
going
think-
around the
I just
coaching
think-
world right now. If Chuck is saying it, he has a guy 36 years as a football coach. his group text consists of football coaches talking about football stuff. He actually signed up for the 33rd team, I believe, so he could be around more football people doing more football stuff. If you listen to Lombardi, did football his whole life, what was he doing? Waking up at 5 a.m. to go do football stuff with football people. So I think what it sounds like from what Chuck is saying, in the football coaching world, the conversation is Jerry did want Mike back potentially at different terms than what Mike was thinking that he would be
I
going
think
back.
they just couldn't come to an agreement.
So Mike wanted a better uniform and didn't want to have to wear that hat anymore.
Who are you guys picking for the Jets as head coach?
What's that?
Who are you guys picking at the 33rd team for the Jets head coach and GM?
Yeah,
I'm not
you guys,
involved in that.
Well, when the 33rd team talks about, do they say, all right, give us every name that could be a football coach. Go.
And then
they just
I
have a stenographer.
no idea what's going on.
They don't like you in
And
that?
they just send that over to Woody.
Apparently, no.
They don't trust you.
That's weird.
No, I mean
lower level
they hired Mike T and a couple of guys that have been in ball for a long time to help them with the search.
Smart.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
What if
Bringing
Mike
people
T
in.
hires himself back?
Do you think Mike T can find any other names that could potentially want to be interviewed for a head coaching job for the New York Jets?
I haven't seen them all. Have they interviewed a bunch of people?
They used maximum characters on Twitter one time, which isn't possible nowadays. You can write whatever you want on there to list off all the names that they're interested in talking to. It was like 17, 18 people, 20 people.
What are the prognosticators saying that who's it's going to be?
Aaron Glenn.
Yes.
Because they've been bringing in a head coach and a GM together.
Aaron Glenn
on the front,
is who
on the
I think
front end.
a lot
you know
of people
what I mean?
are piecing together. Yeah, you said they
So
pair
like the assistant GM at KC and Matt Nagy, and then I think Ryan
and Flores
and B-Flow. And I don't know who the rest of them were, but I think they're trying to get that. A lot of teams now are trying to get that right as they're walking in the door. That component, that relationship.
And that's always going to work.
Mm-hmm.
Are we doing a giveaway or what?
It's like Lombo said, till you lose.
Yeah, until you lose. Then who's in charge? You need one supreme commander.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear that word? I guess those words, that title, Age?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Lombo's used that for a while, but it does. A lot of times when you say Supreme Commander, it's usually not in a positive light when they're speaking about someone, right?
Lombo's used supreme commander a lot?
Yeah, he's used it before on his podcast.
Oh, I haven't heard. He hasn't said it to me because that's my first time hearing it. I was like, what a hilarious way to describe something. We get what you're saying, too. We understand exactly what you're saying.
True, incredible.
Need a supreme commander.
Just like New England.
They got one.
Yeah.
Yes,
One
we do.
voice.
Already kicking out
One
the-
sound.
The bullshit.
All right. Chuck Pagano. Hey, do you see the, can you toss me one of them balls down there? Yes, sir. Available now. Baby Duke 2.0.
Those are nice.
Store.patmcafeeshow.com. This one has a little thing on it because it's been chucked into bricks, but look, still has the dimples.
Mm-hmm.
This is a durable ball, perfectly weighted. You see? Perfectly weighted. Can be punted, can be thrown. Perfect toss around ball. Big enough that you don't feel like you're engulfing it. Small enough to have a grip on it no matter your hand size.
Mm-hmm.
The weight is 50 to 60 yard throwable if you really want to do it.
No doubt.
But easy to play catch with because it's friendly on the hands.
Mm-hmm.
The laces aren't too strong, so it won't cut you whenever you throw it. And it's a good ball.
It's already broken in. Yeah,
great
somehow.
It's perfect.
Baby Duke 1 that we launched a couple years back. Good ball.
Good ball.
That's a good ball. That's Baby Duke number 1 there. Weren't able to find enough of them, though.
Sure.
You know, so then we find Baby Duke 2.0, and it's like, wait a minute, hold the phone.
Nailed it.
Holy shit.
Good ball.
Yeah.
Good ball.
Good ball.
The best.
You can spin this ball.
Kid friendly.
Definitely kid friendly. How soft it is.
I like
Durability.
that size.
Yeah, it's like a good size.
I throw a ball every morning at the bus stop. My kids catch like 30 balls, and I throw a ball just like that.
Well, why don't you get the Baby Duke 2.0 for the kids?
I know. I need it. I'm going to take one when I come with the Thunderdome.
Support the business. Why don't you buy one?
Good Lord.
I'll buy a bunch of them. I bought a bunch of
Christ,
cones.
we're not
college
giving you
football
enough.
thing.
Going on right after the show then.
Thank
So
you,
I'm
AJ.
getting me a couple.
No, we'll get them for you. We'll get them for you. Age, we'll get them for the entire Hawk community.
I'll buy 'em.
We'll get it for the Paganos, obviously. Yeah, we're in. We want you to enjoy life and have a catch. Toss around a ball. Go outside. Touch grass.
Yeah.
Spin the rock. Maybe kick one. Get yourself prepared for an opportunity.
Hey, I can't wait to get with my grandsons. Hey, get on the floor or get off the floor.
Bingo.
Off the court. Get on the floor, get off the court.
Got the message.
Dan Orlovsky to Noah, who did not build the ark.
I did.
those boys?
12. 11? 7.
11.
Yeah. Noah, Hunter, and then I don't know he didn't say the other one's name. I've run into them a few different times. Cool group. It's a cool group of kids. And then his daughter is like the coolest of them all. She's awesome.
Older, younger?
Younger. The lads, though, they always dress the same.
They do.
Yeah, definitely. The lads are all dressed the same, when they walk into places. That's something they're probably not going to like whenever they get older.
Yeah.
But it's just like kind of how it goes. Could you imagine having triplets? Imagine those first 3 weeks.
Holy shit.
First 3 weeks. Imagine when those kids are like 2 to 5 too. Like there's a lot.
All of it. I don't know how they. Congrats.
It's got to be really cool now. Like they got to be their own little wolf pack now.
Yeah, they got a team here, and then holidays going forward are going to be big whenever they become adults. It's a big family, but it's like those first 3 weeks. I think I thought of the Orlovskis a couple times, like triplets. How are you?
I thought of John and Kate plus 8.
Sure.
When I first had kids.
Yeah, but they did that on purpose, right? Didn't they?
Well, did they want to have that many, or did they really want to have that many?
I think it was something where they wanted to become famous. I think, if I remember right, that ended up being pretty nasty. I think John
did not work out.
John and Kate and the 8 are, I think, in a certain different spot. I watched that a little bit. That seemed crazy.
Mm-hmm.
These cults that have like 13, 14 kids.
Yep.
That feels wild. Mm-hmm. There's a couple religions that think they're going to reproduce their way into dominance.
Oh, yeah.
World dominance.
It's not a terrible idea.
Some of them have.
Bingo.
That's a conversation for another day. I'm not going to get into that. Aaron Wood.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to get into that.
That being said,
I think we should get into it. Did you see TGL? Ratings are up from week 1 to week 2. Tiger golfing brings eyes.
Bullshit. The Tiger bump, right? I guess.
Coach. Chuck.
Yeah, we got figured out.
Well said, Coach.
Chuck
What do you
hated
say?
it. Chuck hated it. Chuck loves golf, too. I think Chuck did not like it.
I moved away from it quicker than Sam did. When you said Sam walked away after 4 minutes, I lasted 3.
Did you see Tiger?
Yeah, I left right after Rocky and the intro.
You didn't like the intro?
The intro was awesome.
You didn't even give the golf a chance.
Freaking clown show.
It's new. It's innovative.
They
it's
got a lot of
energetic.
work. They got a lot of work to do because there's people who invested in that. I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to come up with something else.
Ratings went up. Ratings went. Chuck doesn't. He's
Yeah,
Nielsen. This guy Nielsen Pagano.
And we trust everybody that throws the ratings out, right?
I'll tell you, it is hard because they put us into that world now, and I'll get like, Fosso. We love Fosso. Fosso will be like, "Can I put out like a ratings report on the show?" And I'm like, kind of kills our gimmick about how ratings don't mean anything. Kind of kills our entire gimmick. But it feels like we should say, so this is always Foss's, feels like we are obligated to say that it's doing good. And then I immediately go, doing good in whose eyes? Who's saying it's doing good? Because then we kind of legitimize something that we've always been like, how the fuck do they know? Like, in the modern world, with the different devices and streaming and DVR, let alone all the different platforms, think one thing, how do they know? Unless it's on one platform that completely opens up its books and you can see exactly how many things, how do you know what any of it is? Well, it's a projection from boxes that are in, it's like, okay, that makes sense. But I'm sure Nielsen knows. And if they're all being judged on the same platform, I guess that's what makes it a level playing field. So TGL was up from week 1 to week 2, allegedly. And then the Pacers Cavaliers beat it by a little bit.
Yeah.
So it almost won the evening from the ratings that were being reported by however they get those. However they get those and what those mean. TGL still up over 1 million, though.
Yep.
It's a lot of people. Yeah. It's a lot of people on a Wednesday night or Tuesday night, whatever it was. Tuesday night.
Nothing's on, and I went to bed and started reading.
Love golf.
And I'm like you, I hate reading, but I'm forcing myself. I'm on this hard 75 deal kick.
There you go.
No booze.
Hard.
Okay.
No booze.
No booze.
Any weed?
Diet. A lot of, I do my gummies.
Okay, yeah, all right.
So you're not doing anything.
Welcome to life. What are we doing?
God, I got some new ones for Christmas, and I've been upping the deal. And I'm having like some wild, like sleeping like a baby.
Yeah, good dreams.
Great dreams, like punching. Wake up.
Miss Tina is
eating so much.
You see, my dreams are crazy. Waking up in a puddle.
What is that, 10? You're up to 10 milligram?
Waking up on all fours.
Hard 75. Splooge everywhere.
Why am I on all fours?
More like hard.
What the hell's going on? Where'd this spoon
Cat
come
camel,
from?
Tina. Cat and camel.
Hey, these are good.
What is it, 10 milligram? Do you know?
Shit, Cat couldn't scratch that thing.
All right.
Chucky needs new sheets.
He's got some boner pills in the gummies.
10 milligrams? And are you sure they're edibles? That we spiking those with anything else, Miss Tina, potentially. You know.
So it's a combo. It's got CBD and THC.
Yeah, do you know how much?
And?
2.5.
Yeah. Each.
Oh.
Okay. You still got a ways to go. Good news for you?
No, because the only thing I ever think of is like when you throw out this like 120 number, and I'm like, there's no fucking way.
Yeah, it's not just a one piece. That is a combination of what's potentially in you at a time.
No, but I can't even imagine.
Those are good days.
The hallucinations I would have.
Those are wild days. AJ is actually a funny character in this entire thing because he has a craps table, basically, of these things. Because there'll be like a 5 milligram one, and then there'll be a 20 milligram one, and then he'll have a 62 milligram one somehow. And they're all in the same bottle, and they all look the exact same. Hey, do you want 10 or 60? Could be either, okay, sweet. Let me go ahead and dive in, I guess. And then you just wait. And then you find out over the next 10, 20 minutes while you're in a plane. It's a good time, H. You're one of the most entertaining distributors, I think, of edibles that I've ever been around in my entire life. Could be 5, could be 27.
That's part of it, right? Isn't that part of it?
No, that's what it used to
10 or 44 is a wild move.
Yeah, Gump was right there in front of me whenever it was all taking place. Hey, I got an extra one. You want this?
That was a rare instance where I didn't know the exact.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I think it's probably smart to know.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's old school. Like back.
I think, yeah.
Back before the
medical.
Commercialization of edibles and THC and everything like that, and science and medicine coming in and saying what it benefits and what it doesn't benefit and what you're able to do and all that shit. This used to be done just by whoever happened to see a YouTube video or know somebody older than them that was able to make the butter that had weed inside of it. And if somebody knew how to make the butter, then they were kind of in control of an afternoon or two. And they had no idea how much to put in there. So they're like, hey, you got to put an ounce in here. That's that. You got to put an ounce in here for an entire thing of brownies. And then some people would come in and go, need 2 ounces to put in here. This is what I've been taught, And then they try to act like they know what the fuck they're talking about. But who knows if that was distributed equally? Who knows how much it actually was per bite? Like the roll of the dice of the homemade edibles back in the day, brownies more specifically, you had no clue what you were signing up for. You had no idea. I had one to copy for 24 hours. I don't know. I think if you were to compare it to milligrams, it might have been a 200 milligram brownie that I ate. And I think the guy that made it was like, you should not eat that whole thing. And I was like, it's going to be too crazy. And then 24 hours later, I was still feeling it. So where we are now, much better than where it used to be whenever it comes to like predicting what it could be. Unless you got like an AJ who says, hey, this could be like an 8-hour thing or like an hour-and-a-half thing for the flight. You tell me. And that's kind of the game. I guess that's kind of the game in there. 2.5, though, you're in a good spot. The CBD and THC ones I enjoy a lot. Makes your joints feel better. I think it does make me feel more comfortable. I think those are good. I think it's a good split. 2.5, though, you still got, which is good news, not bad news. You still got a lot of room to get to where AJ tries to get to. AJ's like, you want a potential coma? I got one right here.
No, it does the opposite. It gives you energy. You can straighten your right knee when you get above a certain amount.
It's great for the joints. Tim McAfee, anti-smoking forever, Hippies. I don't want to be a fuck associated with a hippie, never. Smoking dope. I ain't doing that. I say nope to dope, Tim McAfee said. Then he had an edible, and he's like, my knees feel a little bit.
It's great.
My shoulders a little bit. What are these things? I'm not doing it. This ain't what Yeah, Tim. It's happening. This state, I think, is having a vote today or tomorrow. Indiana, to potentially medicinal, which is good. Because there's people
Do
that
you think it'll pass? Do we have enough? It's very conservative, isn't it?
Very conservative state here.
Medicinal's so different, though. Yeah, I could see that going. Recreation, never, but I could see like a medicinal.
New governor, so it'd be a new kind of voice in the entire thing. And Holcomb did a lot of great things here in Indiana. I think, people would say they appreciate what he did in his gubernatorial run and era here in Indiana. But like the weed thing, anytime it was brought up in any of these campaigns locally, it was always I need to see more research. And it's like, it feels like there's a lot of research out there, especially for medicinal, for real things like arthritis and let alone the cancer, leukemia. All that type of stuff.
Seizures.
And then also the alternative, what it is, big pharma, what that has happened. So it's, I think the ball's rolling. Anytime we get to a state, though, where it's obviously legal, we can't bring it back to us. Back to Indiana, so we got to eliminate it somehow, and that is.
You can go suck down all the Marlboros you want in this state and drink all the damn beer and whiskey, but and cannabis is actually, you say medicinal, good for you, but we're okay with the others.
Well, you got a lot of big politics to play there. Big tobacco, big alcohol, big pharma.
Also, who said cigs and alcohol is not good for you?
All right,
some idiot.
Okay. All right, Chuck, let's do a giveaway, shall we? 30 people, $500 on this big-time Aaron Rodgers Thursday, January 16th, 2025. Chuck, all you got to do is put the ball into the hoop right over there. If you're able to accomplish that task, 30 people are going to be $500 richer. How do you feel about that? Pretty good?
I feel really good.
AJ, how do you feel about Chuck putting this thing in there?
I feel really good. I think this first try, he's going to drain it.
Amen. Chuck, do it for the people. Your Cactus Jacks. Oh, no. Holy hell.
I mean, what the hell?
Didn't see that coming.
Well.
Oh, mama.
It's going to get loose again.
Fear for my life from the
Where's he going?
What are you doing?
Where are you going?
Embarrassed himself when he looked at the hood.
Good gate.
Not bad.
It's a good game.
Oh, just getting the ball?
Yeah.
There's another one over
That's
there.
lava.
Jeez, Bill is jacked.
Bill is jacked.
Beefcake.
Welcome to the show.
Beefcake Bill.
Man,
It's a house.
it's a scary individual.
Chuck walked it off. I appreciate him doing that. Take a lap, Chuck. Take a lap. Take the long way home. Sit it down. Yep, let's do it.
That never happened.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chuck Pagano will attempt to win 30 people $500. All he has to do is put that football into that hoop right over there. In the Cactus Jack, shout out to Travis Scott!
It's more like it.
Would have been nice.
That's what we're talking about. That was a good shot. Hey, Coach Lou Holtz has something to say to you.
Listen, I'm going to refer to you as Charlie because you're younger than me, and if I would have coached you, I probably would have called you Charlie. That first fucking throw, I'll tell you what, you'll never play for me, son, ever. Throwing like that. That second throw, that's what I'm talking about. I saw you out here earlier, throwing pretty good. Enough with the excuses. Old man, I hear you talking about your gummies and your joints and all this shit. Act like you want it, for Christ's sake, okay? Fucking put it in the hoop, all right? I'm sick and tired of this sad sack bullshit. We got these people watching this show, these good people, these God-fearing, nice people, men, women, Hulkamaniacs. There's probably a couple Hulkamaniacs watching the show as well. Right. How about you win them some money? Huh? How does that sound? Okay? Fucking throw the football. Let's go. Throw that sumbitch as hard as you can and make the fucking shot.
30 people, $500 potentially. Chuck Pagano! Oh, mama. Thought it went in. That's right. This is the one.
Yep.
Tone Diggs, who's an AP voter, he has power and say. Has something to say to you.
Chuck, normally I'm a selfish human being, so I'd prefer you not to make this because it would embarrass me because I have not made one of these throws the last 3 attempts that I've been on this stage. But Coach Lou Holtz kind of inspired me.
Yeah.
To cheer for the good people out there, the God-fearing people out there. And so I wish you the best of luck on this upcoming throw because I know you have it in your heart. And now you have it in your arm.
God bless. People are calling your last miss a rim job, saying that's what you've been dreaming about when you're on your edibles. Chuck Pagano, 30 people! Ooh. You want this baby Duke 2.0?
Only need one.
You only get one shot. One opportunity. Don't miss your chance to blow. Because opportunity comes once in a lifetime. Yo. 30 people, $500. Boston Connor has something to say to you. He said you looked young earlier today.
Yeah. I don't think you have a chance, to be completely honest with you. I think we've been doing this gimmick with you for I don't know how many weeks, and I can't remember the last time you made it. I'm so close. Look at this. Look at me. I'm an old guy, but I can still throw the football.
Right in his face.
You haven't been close at all.
Right in his face. 30 people, $500.
Either make
right
it or
in his face.
go the fuck home.
That's what we're here for. You got doubters. You got haters. You got a chance to do something about it. Chuck Pagano!
Oh, was it close again? I didn't see.
That would have been the one. That would have been the best
was
one.
it close, guys? I didn't see it this time.
That would have been the best one of the season.
It was real close.
Look at now Connor can go home celebrating. Bubba Gumpino, who obviously is pulling hard for Connie Pagano and everybody out there in Southern California, has a message for you, Chuck, about how you've been doing as of late in this particular game.
Chuck, there's an old saying. It says you're only as good as your last game. What's happened this year does not matter if you make this last shot, brother.
Do you want to be remembered forever as a hero for 30 people to win $500? Or do you want to be the guy that hasn't been able to get a Thursday night bet right? Choice is yours, says Gumpy. 30 people, $500 with the...
That always happens when you go to the Duke. It's too heavy for him.
Bonus ball? No, it's gone. It's gone forever.
Man.
It's a good attempt.
Another week.
I know you'll make it. I know you'll make it someday. Bill almost got his head splattered off of the glass.
That's real.
He almost did. Yeah, he was very close. He did not know
Talk
that.
about how loyal, and I mean, that's a good one. He didn't move.
Yeah, he's locked in.
That's Bill.
That's why nothing's a hobby. It's a lifestyle.
Exactly.
That's Beefcake Bill.
That's right.
All right, we're out of here. Can't thank you guys enough. We'll be back tomorrow with a Feel Good Friday, and then we'll propel into Divisional Round Weekend with an attitude that's never been seen before.
Hell yeah.
Such a positive one, knowing that all the games are going to be fantastic. Then on Monday, not only do we have the National Championship Monday night, we're going to be live in Atlanta. I think we got some big-time special guests stopping by.
Really?
Hell yeah.
Big-time special guests. Might have been a little bit of a hint here today. Leave it at that. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change your life, like Pizza Hut has.
Yeah.
Did you see it pop up there?
I did.
We're in the middle of a conversation. It was hard not to be like, pizza and wings, pizza and wings.
I know, my eyes just go right to it every time.
It was hard. It was hard not to look at the cheese. Oh
man.
The perfectly placed pepperoni.
I know.
The pepperones.
Which team are you?
Yeah, so.
You don't got to choose a team.
Yeah.
Team Hut.
Are they bone-in? Because that's an easy decision.
Yeah, if it's bone-in wings, I think it's a little bit closer battle. If it's chicken nuggets with great sauce, which they have the best
They do.
out of anybody, I think it's a little bit easier decision. But I would like to remain Switzerland.
Sure.
I'm on both teams here.
Yeah, exactly.
They're both great.
Amen.
But I appreciate that there are some people that say no one
And we mean no one.
out Pizza's the Hut, and they refuse to try anything else from Pizza Hut, so they're definitely on Team Pizza. But if you have the bone-in wings, I think you're going to say, well, wait a minute now.
Change your life.
Bingo.
Wait a minute now. Because kind of like Wingy.
Yeah.
I love Wingy.
They got fryers in all their stores. So their wings are just like wing shops, but they don't happen to promote it as much. They more so promote the boneless and then pizza. Their wings, bone-in wings, are legit, and their sauces are magnificent.
Yes.
Shout out to Pizza Hut.
Shout out.
Let's get the hell out of here. Chuck, thank you for your great work this week. Love your notes.
Thank you.
Love every single thing about it. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change your life. We're in this thing together. Let's never forget it. Team on me. Team on three. 1, 2, 3.
Team.
Goodbye.